Hi everybody, welcome to our coming up to 100,000 subscriber special. At the moment, we are at 99,725 subscribers. And my intention, as long as it doesn't take too long, is to try and live stream for as long as it takes, or at least for the next hour or so, to get us to 100,000 subscribers. Transport Evolved has been running now in its current form since 2013, and it's thanks to everybody who watches and subscribes and donates via Patreon and sends us snippets of news and everything else that we are where we are at today. And if it wasn't for you guys, we wouldn't be here now. So thank you so much. Now, a lot of people have been asking, well, why are you streaming now? Why not wait until 100,000 subscribers? And the honest answer is it's really difficult to know how many subscribers we're going to get in any one day. Sometimes we'll get 100 subscribers in a day. Sometimes we'll get 400 or 500 in a day. And to be honest, I'd love to get to the point where we get to 100,000 while we're live on this stream. I think it would be kind of fun, a bit monumental, and you know, it's a fun thing to share. Erin is here.
Hello.
We are in the new office. That's the award we picked up the other day. So for everybody who is, so I have to make 280 emails and subscribe, says someone. Says Burgess. I hope I've said that right. So yeah, we are doing a 100,000 subscriber. We've just lost 2 subscribers, which is kind of funny. We were at 727 a second ago. Now we're at 725. Come on, guys, not far to go. So as part of this, I wanted to have this live stream so that everybody can basically join in and ask questions of us. And I think this is going up and down for some reason. Someone is screwing with us, I think. Either that or it's the algorithm. So I've got the subscriber count in the corner, and Kate is here. Hello, Kate. Kate is going to be the moderator in there. Hey, you two, were you invited to the new... Hi, you two, were you invited to the new mini EV event? No, we weren't. We do sometimes get invited to things and sometimes we don't. And I think maybe that's something to talk about.
We do have an event coming up, though.
We've got 2 events coming up. We've got one on Thursday this week. We're going down to Central Oregon, I guess, yes. Isn't it? Central Oregon for a reveal down there. And then I'm heading off to Detroit via Lansing to see the Bollinger event. So that's going to be cool. Mm-hmm. Excuse me, my throat is really not doing well. So how the events happen is very often car companies will only invite really, really big channels, and we're not a really big channel, or they'll invite people who are already known to them. And I've got to admit that since we moved to the US, Transport Evolved has not had as many contacts as we did have when we were in the UK. And I don't know why that is. US press agencies work in a very different way to the UK ones. We just haven't got in on that yet. So what is the price jump on petrol in the US due to the Saudi thing? I think that's a question for you, Erin. Do you know if petrol is going up? Gas is going up?
Honestly, it's kind of hovered around, like, I've seen it at like $2.70, $2.80, $2.80 about. I've seen it kind of hovering there. So nothing yet, but that means I should probably get gas before.
So you haven't seen it in the last couple of days?
Yeah, it should probably go up in a few days, though, I imagine, within the week.
So for those who don't know, Erin does still drive a gas car. She's driving an old Honda Accord.
Yes, 1992. The lovely champagne color, as they like to call it.
It's older than you.
Yeah, it's older than me.
Your car is older than you. You're at that point in your life. Mm-hmm. I think everybody at some point needs to own a car that is older than they are. I think that is a thing. But Erin is looking.
Yeah. Not yet, but definitely within the next year and a half, 2 years, something like that.
And because of Erin's That's funny. That's okay, Erin. One step at a time. Honda Accord is a legend, but Tish, because they used to make a Honda Legend. That was a very bad joke, but very funny. You're looking at plug-in hybrids, aren't you?
Yes.
And there's a whole reason for that. There's a video coming on this.
Yes, I have.
Erin is making a video right now. We're also going to be doing that, and as part of that, we are going to be looking at buying an electric car or a plug-in car through the eyes of a young person.
I'm a young person.
As opposed to old middle-aged farts.
Stop being mean to yourself. Also, my grandparents used to live in Fort Myers. That's bananas.
That's bananas?
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Right, let's go through some of these greetings from the United Arab Emirates. Never thought I'd get a greeting from the UAE, so there you go. I'm just going to say hello for everybody. Greetings from Finland, from Venice, from Croydon, from London. Congrats, team, on your award. Awesome stuff. Thank you. The award is back there behind Erin.
Did you show?
Good evening from Dorset. Dorset is beautiful. Doug says you inspired me to get an EV. That is the award that we picked up. Let's make it 2. Yeah, it does plug in and light up.
You want to plug it in
properly. There you go. Let us get another award and get the subscriber count up. So if you're watching this live and you want to support us and you want us to get our
silver play
subs
button
up, help us get our silver play button. We are currently at 99,725 subscribers. Let's get it into the 800s, then let's get it into the 900s, and then we'll get it to 100K. We are really, really close. Doug says you inspired me to get an EV. I am glad that we had a part in that process, Doug. Thank you. We already answered the Saudi oil thing. Hi from Poland. Greetings from the Netherlands. Hello from Latvia. We're in the $3 range in California, says Rob, in terms of gas. That is...
It really depends on where you are and, like, what the gas stations around are like. Because, I mean, you know, population density and things like that. Where I am is kind of, it's not super, it's suburban.
Right.
You know, it's not like urban, where I think, you know, in those kind of more condensed areas, it tends to be a bit more, you know, pricey.
So Stefan says in Denmark, the price is up 10%, which is, you know, this is why you need to make that switch. Electricity is a lot more affordable. Smart Charge America, that's incredible. We have the entire team watching this live and our office screens, 20 of us wishing you all the greatest. Thank you, Smart Charge America. We're going to be working with those guys on something in the coming weeks. Really super excited to be working with you guys and really honored actually to be working with you guys on something. Hello from Michael from MDR Electrical via Malden, Essex, England. And I'm an avid fan. Hello, Michael from MDR Electrical via Malden. I don't know if that's part of your company's name, but MDR Electrical, I think, is probably nearer the mark. Will the Volkswagen ID3 upset the EV market, assuming price and availability is as expected, i.e. are other EVs overpriced? Well, here's the thing. We'll come to that in a second. I'm going to write this down on my little pad. Volkswagen ID3 question, upset markets. Okay, there we go. That's okay, Erin. One step at a time. Honda Accord is a legend. We already went that one. Talk about the BMW i3. All right, we'll talk about the i3 as well. And I'm going to scroll down because we've got so many more comments coming in. I can't keep up with them. As a student, hello, my name is Lazi Bartenberger the 7th. I don't get that. As a student, that you were talking about, you're just no longer a student. You graduated just over a year ago. So hello from Wales. Been following TE since 2012. You guys do an amazing job. Thank you so much. Hello from Israel. Your fan. Hello, Israel. I hope that things are nice and beautiful over there for you. Good evening from Geordieland. Hello, Geordieland. Seeing you are in the US, I think you should try and make the charge station etiquette a little more British. Apparently not allowed to unplug someone else in the US. Mad. Well, I mean, okay, so let's talk about that for a second. Unplugging someone. Honestly, people should be responsible for unplugging and plugging in their own car. It's a liability issue. There's also an issue regarding people sitting in the space. And if people do that, then it means that they start doing it more and more. And I think the onus needs to be on the owner, not on the person coming in to plug. Now, if the way around that obviously is to charge idle fees. Every single charging station, I think, that I used, or at least most of them, had idle fees. So if you stopped, and last week this was when I went down to pick up the award, if you stop and you charge, then they charge you effectively a parking charge. You get 10 minutes once your car is done. So you need to be within 10 minutes of your vehicle to be able to pick it up. And I think that's probably the best way. All right. The market is freaking out because of the drone attack in Saudi Arabia. Well, I buy renewable electricity for my home and renewable electricity for the studio. So, All right. I took a lady for a drive in my Bolt EV at the National Drive Electric Week last year, and she had hers at the show this year. That is fantastic. That is fantastic. What do I think about the Seat Elborn? I don't know a huge amount about it yet. Can you talk about the motor of the i3? We will talk about the i3 presently. Glad to see you live. In London, the ultra-low emission zone charge should be Euro 4 petrol from 2005, but has most petrol Euro 3 cars exempt from 2001, including a Bentley Arnage 6.4 with 5. That's crazy. That's crazy. Woot! Congrats to Nikki and Erin on reaching 100K. Almost. You guys are awesome. Almost. That is my wife in the chat. Hello, Kate. You can tell she's my wife because she's got the same second name as me. How can I email you? show@transportevolve.com. Hello from India. By the way, German news has coverage for the ID3 like it was the first EV that's not a golf cart. Well, we'll come to the i3 in a second. All right, reality, EV is evolving too fast and only starting to mature. Excuse me, expecting prices to drop fast and battery tech to mature fast, bringing EV mainstream in the next 3 years. LK Child, hello. 100,000 is an awesome achievement. I love the fact that some of my friends are popping on as well. You've met them. You met them in England when we had food together at the pub. Oh, yes. I'm not saying their name because, yes, but message retracted. I wish I knew what that was. Hello, congrats. Greetings from Austria. 10 points. Oh, hello. Lazile? I'm from Israel. I'm your biggest fan. I was your fan since 50 subs. I even buy your shirt. Thank you so much. That's lovely to know. Congrats on a great show. Well-deserved Plug in America award. Hi, Transport Evolved from South Africa. Wow. Yes, thank you for the donation. Hi from Surrey, BC. Wife and I are recent 2017 Kia Soul EV in Southwest BC, around $1.50 Canadian cents per litre. That's pretty low priced, I think. Maybe not actually, because it's a litre rather than a gallon. Hello from Jamaica. I love your reviews. Are just starting talks of going electric. A few hybrids are here, and the power company is in talks with the private entities to start putting up charging stations. I'm going to keep going, and then I'm going to start talking about topics. If you want me to talk about a topic, talk about this. I'm following you since 35,000-ish. Still great content. Keep it up. Erin is also a legend. Dark Crystal Tea. Hang on a minute. Were you even born then, young lady?
No.
Erin has class. Congrats on the big 100K. Will you be doing more electric products? Really enjoyed your piece on garden equipment. I would like to know how it got on. Cheers. All right, let's backpedal there for a second. We'll talk about the garden. I'll put that on the garden mower.
They had a Dark Crystal. Well, it was a Jim Henson exhibition at what was it? It's the Museum of Pop Culture in Seattle, and they had a bunch of shirts.
That one
there.
is yours.
That is mine.
I keep playing with these. I'm going to put mine over there.
Anyway.
That's what we have. We have long hair. We just play with our things. How can I use defrost with no heat or air conditioning with a 2018 Bolt, says Susan Curtis. I can talk you through that one right now. What you need to do is turn it into auto mode. So you turn the air conditioning into auto mode, and then you hit the heat button, which is in the middle of that little console, and then it will just blow air. Which is exactly what I did when I was driving last week. Who is the person on the left? Sorry, but I only know Nikki on the channel. This is...
Hi, I'm Erin. I've been working here for about a year, and I'm mostly kind of behind the scenes. Oh,
That's Erin's desk
that's
right
my
there.
desk. Hello.
Erin does camera work for us
I do.
sometimes, animation.
Mhm.
Erin is responsible for all the merch that we have been doing. In fact, that Nightmare on
It's all the way up there. You can
Nightmare
barely see
on
it.
Oil Street is one of Erin's pieces. It is available in our swag store, and it's coming up to Halloween.
Yeah.
So go buy the Nightmare on Oil Street.
I've been thinking of doing
Make
another one, too.
OPEC scared again. All right. And of course, if you buy anything from the swag store, you're helping us out. We do get a little kickback there. Yeah. Okay, let's go back. Whew. Hello, congrats, guys. Isn't the Seat Elborn a rebadged ID3? There you go. Yes, you're right. It's been a really crazy week this week, so I haven't seen a whole lot. What's happening with the different cities banning petrol and diesel cars? They just basically want to cut down on emissions. Each city, each area is doing it differently. 99,728, guys. We're going up. Keep it going. Share. I want you to all share on Twitter, Transport Evolved 100K, or on your social media networks. Get your friends, your colleagues, everybody else subscribing. We are going to get to 100,000 today. I hope. Let's see if we can do it. The UK is beefing up their charging infrastructure. They're doing that. And back to the question about cities and everybody, working to ban different cars. Everyone has a different idea as to what is going to be best for them. And so different cities have different ideas because they have different advisors. Honestly, what we really need to see is concerted efforts nationwide and also globally and internationally to do that. All right. Hello from Prague, maybe?
Prague. Yeah,
is that Prague?
It's Prague.
Okay.
I think. I'm pretty sure.
Or Paraguay?
No.
It could be Prague. Hello from Prague. Hello, congrats, says Ian. Thank you. Susan, I've already answered your question. What's your opinion on the the RAV4 hybrid? I haven't really got one. I mean, hybrids are a better transitional vehicle for some people. And I would much rather people make a switch to a hybrid than to stay with just a standard internal combustion engine vehicle. You have to remember that, the standard cars, SUVs of that size, are only getting 20, maybe 23, maybe 24 US miles per gallon. If you can increase that to 40, that's a good thing. Obviously, it would be better to go to fully electric, but some people are not ready at that point yet, and we are growing. The number of people who are adopting vehicles are growing. What do you guys think of the Honda E? Do I think it's priced competitively? I love the Honda E. I haven't seen it up first-hand and personal, reasons for which I will come to in a second. But I love the look of it. I think it's a great little car. I do think it's overpriced. It's like $35,000 for a car that will only do 125 miles.
No.
See?
No, I don't think so.
All right. Nice work, y'all. Thank you, Thomas. Hello from Sweden, says Donovan. Congrats. I think we've got like most European countries represented this evening. Yeah. It's great. And plus India. So we've got Asia. We've got the Middle East, we've got South Africa. So we haven't had anybody from Australia yet or New Zealand. I guess it's still a little bit early in the morning. Everyone's still going to work. All right. Hello from Colorado. Why no ID3 in the US? It is because people don't like small cars.
You want to talk about
there is a disclaimer. we have a good friend of ours, one of the camera guys actually for Transport Evolved, Michael. He is a sweetheart. He loves the Fiat 500. He always has. He owns a Fiat 500 Turbo, and he is spitting bricks right now because Fiat is cancelling the 500 in the US. And I just think, everyone is moving, and it's a global thing. Everybody's moving towards SUVs and crossovers. It's one of the reasons why electric vehicles are, some are now starting to go that SUV route. But honestly, I think the ID3 is not available in the US because Volkswagen doesn't feel it will sell. Whether it would or not, I don't know. I think it would. And that's a shame.
They have some interesting choices as to what will and will not sell.
They do.
From what I've seen. Also, I saw this question. Let's see. Where'd it go? There we go. No, Nikki is not my wife. I am a friend.
What?
Right there. Doot. Hello.
No.
You totally missed
No,
that.
I totally missed
You
that.
totally
So
missed
I
that.
mean, I must have like people think that I'm married to everybody. Like people think that.
Holly.
All right. So no, God no. People, lead your lives the way you do, people. But no, not for me, thanks. My wife is a Mary Kate who is in the chat actually right now, not to be confused with Pure Kate, who's also in the chat right now. I have a best friend called Kate Wharton Elliott, Pure Kate. She is British, like me. Then I have my wonderful wife, Mary Kate. She is in the chat. She is American. She moved to the UK and then we moved back to the US together. And Erin is an employee. I pay her money to come here every day.
Money.
She gets paid to do work. And we can maybe talk about that a little bit later.
I mean,
99,729.
There
We're
we
growing. We're growing.
But,
Keep it going.
we're friends before this, so.
We were.
Nothing.
We may not be friends after. Hello from Prague, and I was sadly not here for the 50 sub mark. No, but that's okay. Someone has to always go first. Talk about the secret of the electrica motor of Tesla. I don't know about that. Love some shirts with some deco on the back, says Stefan. We can do that?
Yeah, absolutely.
We can do that.
Mm-hmm.
All right, following from 5K. Love you guys. Please keep it up. Thank you. Great work. Keep it up. Brought my first EV Leaf a year ago. The way to go from New Zealand. Yay, first New Zealander.
Very nice.
Hello to New Zealand. First Kiwi watching the stream. Nikki, are you going to give away a car now, right?
Does a toy car count?
You and I have the very same. You and I have the same.
You could have this very tiny
We
car.
have a Tesla somewhere.
Wait, we have a thumb drive that has a car in it. Ooh.
Yes, that's right. All right. Let's talk about Tesla Plaid. We can talk about that in a second. Congrats on reaching 100K. Does your relationship with YouTube change on reaching this mark? Yes, it does.
Mm-hmm.
A couple of things happen. First of all, YouTube actually gives me what's called a
human, basically.
Basically
an actual human.
There, you have a relationship manager,
Mm-hmm.
which sounds like a marriage counselor.
As far as marriage, we clearly have.
Yeah, we have we'll get a person whose job it is to talk to us and to communicate with us and to make sure that Transport Evolved continues to grow. We will also get access to more chances for collaborations.
Mm-hmm.
So when you get to 100,000 subscribers, basically the too long didn't read is that YouTube takes notice of you. They start talking to you. Up to this point, you are on your own. But when you get to 100,000, everybody actually does start talking to you. So that is very important. Also, it means that we start hopefully getting more advertisements and more content that we can work with collabs.
You mentioned also maybe getting access to like certain spaces and things like that.
There's also some production spaces. There's one in LA, there's one in New York, one in London. So it means you can go in and use those studios for things.
We're a bit far, but
but it's a case of, Transport Evolved. We are at the moment doing what we're doing on a very big, very, very big, but very shoestring budget. We don't really have much in the way of
I mean, it's because we've been investing a lot in new spaces and equipment and things like that.
Right. So we've got now this studio. We're in Hillsboro, Oregon. So we're just outside of Portland now. And this is the edit suite that we're sitting in right now. Next door is a big warehouse. We need to raise $3,500 before we can do any changes to it. Because
I love how they didn't mention that before.
Right. Okay. So we need to make changes to that studio space and build some sets and put some walls up. But before we do that, we need to raise an additional $3,000. And that will enable us to have multiple sets. Hopefully it will enable us to bring back the talk show maybe once a month. That's my goal. The original Transport Evolved talk show where we get people in and we talk about the things that is going on.
I mean, there's enough people definitely within the area to get that started.
Yep. And we also need to make some investments in some of our camera gear. We are eyeing a Blackmagic Pocket Cinema Camera 6K. That means we can film more. We can shoot in 6K, which means we can punch in is a technical term, so we can actually make better quality videos effectively. So that is on our list. We also need to beef up our server. We got hacked earlier this year. and somebody did about $600 worth of damage to our
So that kind of sucks.
So
Please
that kind of sucks. So please don't. Yeah, please don't do that. So right now we're going over we're hobbling over the 100K subscriber line, but we will get there. And when we do, we are going to have fantastic things. All right. Let's go back. You are the best in the electric world. Oh, thank you. That's really lovely. When people say that, it gives me warm fuzzies. I'm in Seattle. I can also do that and not look hugely fat now. I've lost 10 pounds. I just want you to know that. I have lost 10 pounds and I'm on my way. I'm closer to my 25% weight loss goal than I was, and I'm happy about that. All right. Got the nightmare, but it's a bit blank on the back.
We will be doing some more. We can definitely do some more kind of fancy stuff on the back. I think new Halloween design.
I'm in Seattle and I missed that, bummer. I'm sorry, Lionel. Hi, what do you think of the MGZSEV? I think it's looking great. I don't think it's as well priced as everyone's making out, because at the moment we are having there are big discounts available on that car, and I think that's the challenge there, you know. But there we go. Wonder if it'd be Wonder if it would be hypocritical to buy the t-shirt Nightmare and then go to work burning at least 10 tons of fuel there. Go for it. Why not? I think that would be funny. Congrats, peeps. Love you all. Thank you. How do we do it? We do that, don't we? I've been practicing that. I've been practicing that in fursuit. I can't do it in a fursuit because my claws are too big. All right. Just got the new 3-motor in Tesla instead of the Porsche. Good. If every sub donated $2 and Nikki gets a Taycan. You know, I was talking about this everywhere. If everybody who subscribes to this channel gave $1 a month through Patreon, if you are not a subscriber to Patreon, go to patreon.com/Transport Evolved and donate there. And if you donate on Patreon, I will give you a bit of a shout out in the stream as well. So thank you. If everybody does donate, if everyone who watched this donated to Patreon, then I can't resize my windows. Then we would be able to upgrade the studio. We'd be able to give our camera guys full-time jobs, all 3 of them. And we'd be able to have a full-time video editor. We'd be able to have a researcher, because I get stuff wrong. Sometimes I get stuff wrong because I don't do enough. So there we are. All right. So hello from Christine in Manchester. Hello, Christine. Christine is a wonderful, wonderful woman. It was great to see you at Fully Charged Live this year, Christine, and I'm looking forward to seeing you again next year. Christine purchased a used Nissan Leaf several years ago now. She replaced a Smart for 2 petrol version, and she has been quite the adventurer driving around the UK in what is a used limited range Nissan Leaf. And she's been showing, Peggy is the name of her Leaf, she's been showing that Peggy has more than enough to travel around the country, and I love hearing about her adventures, and I'm hoping that she might turn them into a book, because I think that would be lovely. Like travels around the UK in an electric car. I would buy that, Christine. Travels with Peggy. Travels with Peggy. There you go. The new Tesla will also have upgraded suspension and brakes as well. Yes, it will. Talk about the GM layoffs. I don't know a huge amount about the GM layoffs, but I know there have been protests today at GM about layoffs.
Hey, Nikki, we got $1 from every Patreon, or at least every subscriber. That means you could get a Tesla too.
Or a Rivian. I could buy a Rivian.
Oh, there you go.
Or a Tesla Model S. I wouldn't say no to an S. All right. Are hydrogen fuel cell cars still a thing? There is a video coming on that later on in the next week. Keep up the good work. Message retracted. I don't know what that. New Zealand, how come you guys aren't using clip-on mics? I don't know how bad the audio is here right now. The reason being is that we're live streaming this using my computer. And we don't have a setup that allows me to mix in the live audio and not easily. Not with 2 people. With just me, yes, I could do it, but with 2 people, it becomes a little more difficult.
You have the mixer, but I mean,
it would be sat right there.
Yeah,
and we'd be connected to it with wires, and we'd be doing like this. So we do need, again, that's something else we want to expand, but
Yeah.
all of this equipment costs money.
Yeah.
I don't think people realize how much all of that actually can cost, for a streaming setup. We used to stream. I used to have a microphone here and we streamed with that.
I think that's probably why you see a lot of people doing almost exclusively like live streams or vlogs or things like, once they get a good following, then they start doing kind of a mix of both. Is because a lot of this equipment does cost a lot of money, unfortunately.
Where is my lav mic?
I do not know where your lav mic is. I see
It's
the
right
end
there.
of it.
It's right here.
I see a tiny little fuzz ball for it.
That's the fuzzy weasel. Oh yeah, so it is.
Mini fuzzy weasel.
So this is,
There you go.
excuse me. This is the fuzzy weasel that we use. It's called a smart lav, and it's by a company called Rode, which you probably all know if you're into audio. And this plugs into our smartphones. This is what we normally use when we're doing the show. And what I do is I get my phone and I plug this into here like that. And then I load an app called Road Rec, and I record on here the audio, and then we go from there. But obviously, if there's lots of people and we're streaming, it's less so. We also use I
was gonna say we could do a boom.
mic.
Also, we have.
We
stuff for
could use our boom, but I was hoping that the microphone on this was not going to be too bad. Maybe it is.
Tell
Is
us
it
if
really that
is.
bad? If it's really bad, tell us, and we'll try and fix it for the future.
Especially if you would like to see more live streams and maybe have like more setups for live streams and fun things like that.
Hi, Andy. Thank you for the donation. Thank you very much. I also want to go back and thank Lionel for your donation. Thank you very much. It's great to have. If you want to make a donation, you can do like the super chat function. Lost near a stone, but gained it again within 6 months. You look great, Nikki. Thank you. ASL interpreter. We should talk. I'd like to do a video with some ASL interpretation. Maybe that's something you'd be interested in helping me with. And the reason being that people don't realize, I don't think, that some people who are either hard of hearing or are deaf don't use English as their primary language. They use ASL or they use BSL or whatever their local language is. And I know for a fact that it's a very isolating experience. My late sister was profoundly deaf. And initially she didn't really have a whole lot to do with the deaf community, but very much embraced it as she got older. She was actually a chaplain for deaf people. And I learned through her that there is a completely very isolating experience for a lot of deaf people, that there's a lot of information about, but they don't necessarily have someone to explain things that they may not have encountered before, unless there's somebody else who uses ASL or BSL or whatever. So I would love to do a video with an interpreter. I think that would be fantastic. Maybe we should talk and try and do that. If you're interested, reach out to me, show@transportevolved.com. Ditto, I was in LA last week for the award ceremony for Plug in America, and I was talking to a woman there who is working with a social project that's trying to get people to into electric cars who are from lower income backgrounds, and a lot of those people are from the Latin community, and their primary language is Spanish. And for them, again, there's so much disinformation because most of what you're seeing is English language. And so again, talking about encouraging people to develop resources in their native language that help other people to make the switch is super important. And so that's something I'd be really interested in. All right, let's go back through the chats here. Do it. It's worth the money. I don't know what's worth the money, Lionel, but I hope I'm worth the money. Hi, Nikki and Erin, going to Irish Ploughing Championship tomorrow morning. My friend's iconic electric. Wonder if we'll see an E-Tractor. Many Irish Farmers are going on solar. Glad to meet you at Fully Charged Live. Amen. It's a really interesting thing. I've started to see a lot of hear a lot about tractors getting converted. And the thing that I think a lot of people don't realize about farmers, not necessarily the big farmers, like the big massive ranchers with huge amounts of money and huge amounts of people working for them. I'm talking about smaller family farms. You get them up in these areas. We've got a lot of small farms up near where I live. In fact, interestingly, I live on the intersection. The plot next to mine is designated farming, and we are designated conservation.
Really?
A zone for conservation. But there are many farmers I know of who are smart enough and engaged enough to actually look into converting their own vehicles to electric. John Deere has been working on an electric tractor, and it's really interesting to see. Oh, Snap-on van, what's that doing? Oh, it's for our neighbours. The guys behind it, it's really weird. I don't know if we've talked about this before, but Transport Evolved sits at the intersection between...
We've talked about it once, and we are in between. There's if we're looking this way, it's on our left, is, oh my God, they do drifting mostly.
Yeah, they're drifting specialists.
They have like Subarus and all sorts of tricked out cars out. And then we have another like content creator like right over there.
It's great.
Yeah.
Thanks to Tim, Xavier, William, and Brian, all of whom have just signed up through Patreon. You can join them by going to patreon.com/Transport Evolved and joining the thing here.
And thanks to everyone that has already supported. I've seen a few people kind of saying, like, I wish you could give more. Honestly, if you're giving anything at all, we really appreciate it.
And Anarchy, I'd rather give Robert Llewellyn $2. Be my guest. Robert's a great guy. I love him to bits. I am not going to be at all upset if you give Robert Llewellyn the money instead of me. Because frankly, we're both doing the same thing. We're both trying to educate the world about the transition to cleaner fuels and energy. So go ahead. That's no skin off my nose. And if you meant that comment as a way to try and troll me, sorry.
You can just
good
say
job.
You're friends, so I mean, there's not any kind of competition there.
I've known Robert for, it's funny, because
geez.
I grew up not being allowed to watch Robert on television.
Oh, yeah.
As a child, because Red Dwarf, my dad didn't like anything like that. And I wasn't allowed to watch Red Dwarf. Well, also because of the comedy, it was, it was funny, but my dad didn't think so. Bless him. And so I was never allowed to watch Robert on TV when I was a kid. And then I think we've known each other since 2007, 2008 now. So he's a wonderful guy. I love him to bits. I love his whole family. He's a really genuine, wonderful person. The same is true for the fantastic Johnny Smith. I know them both. I love them both. I think they're both fantastic guys. And I'm proud that we're all working in the same sector because they really make an amazing difference. And they work so hard. And there's no BS. There's no two-facedness. They are genuine, wonderful men. And I am very proud to have worked with them in the past. And I hope to work with them again in the future. All right, now. Someone's asking, the audio is fine. Have you seen the new term Musketeers? I want a hat and a shirt. I think that's great. How many subs now? 99,733. Come on, guys. Let's get it up to 99,800. How many subs? Already done that. Congratulations. It's fine. Don't worry. We're happy to see your 2,000-mile trip in the Bolt. Really thinking about buying a used one in California and driving it back to Oklahoma. I can't do that in a Leaf. I would totally. Yeah, I mean, it's great. It really is. Travel with me. Nissan Leaf 30 in Poland to $US for 650 kilometers road trip. That is impressive. Jeez. Mike, okay, I hear you well in deepest, darkest Wales. Keep up the good work. Sound is fine. Audio is fine. Audio is fine. Microphone is okay. Yes, more streets. Hear you fine. Hi from Birmingham. Perfect from Sweden. Sounds great. Audio is fine. Audio is fine. Audio is fine. Too picky. I think I can afford a $1 Patreon for you guys. I think everyone can afford to donate once a month for $1 on Patreon. I hope so. The mic is fine. Perhaps you need a bit of sound deadening. That's what this is. But I know that this microphone is not particularly good. Well done for the impending 100K. Was at FCL wearing one of your tops when I saw all three of you across the room, but you disappeared before I said hello. I'm really sorry about Fully Charged Live. It was so crazy. Thank you to Ollie for signing up. I just saw Ollie sign up. Thank you very much for that, Ollie. It is so fantastic to see new people signing up. Just making sure no one else has signed in. No. All right, so where we are. We need to get more Americans buying EVs. We just haven't hit 1% currently. That is true. A Fendit E100 Vario is an all-electric tractor. Yep, that's good. I give Robert Llewellyn money too. You are both needed and awesome. And your dad was no fun. No, my dad was a lot of fun. He was a wonderful guy. In fact, if it wasn't for my dad, I wouldn't be here today. I mean, quite literally. But if it was... It's the stupidest thing I've ever said on YouTube. My dad taught me a lot about the natural world. He knew all of the names of the plants, all of the birds, and all of the other creatures. My mum as well, both of them fantastic. I wouldn't be here doing this show if it wasn't for the love that my parents showed me for the natural world. And they taught me so much. And I'm ashamed to say I've forgotten a lot of it. Back in 92 or 93, there was a big flood in the UK. The marshland that the cows my dad was paid to look after grazed flooded, and that meant that the farmer had to sell the herd, which meant that my dad lost his job. We had to move and my dad had to find a new job, and that was kind of the end of my innocence and the end of so I would have been 12, 13. It would have been the end of my childhood, beginning of my teenage years. And it really was very transformative and got me thinking, why did it happen? And it led me through kind of the climate change methodology. But I realized that screaming at people about the climate wasn't necessarily going to help. And so encouraging people to change their habits, especially their transportation choices, was a way that I went forwards. Someone is
don't even.
Yeah, I know. Don't even. Someone is spamming, and Kate, if you're watching, Kate,
They've been held for review.
Yeah, I know, but they're taking all of the. Someone is now spamming us in the live chat, which is sad, really. All right, I'm old. I'll be 69 on October 15th. You're not old. YouTube video on Tesla Toyota RAV4 EV. Look up my name. I can't see where that's gone. Hello from Norway. Best of luck on the 100,000 subscribers. Thanks for the nice videos. You're welcome. You're welcome. All right, no middle ground. Any thoughts on the new UAW strike and the GM Electric pickup to be built in Detroit? I don't know enough about the strike yet. I haven't been in the office a huge amount today. But I am aware that obviously I think some of that is going to be politicized by Mr. Trump, and I think that's going to cause some problems. But we'll see. Hello from Istanbul. Hello. I'd love to hear more about how we can pressure local governments and businesses to add charging stations. Do you know about anything like that in Hillsborough? Well, in the US, we have, certainly in Hillsborough, in Oregon, generally it's a lot easier to get charging stations installed because there's lots of public-private partnerships, and that is really nice. Thank you toward 91574. I'd love to know what the 91574 is for. I like it when people do things like that. Hello from the UK, from Essex. Hello. I think in where we are, obviously the West Coast Electric Highway has got a lot to do with it, and putting charging stations in. There's a lot of cool things happening in Oregon. You know, it's the. Thank you, Kate. Did she do the banning thing? Yeah, she's putting down heating. For those who don't know, Kate Warren Elliott is actually finishing her house off at the moment. She's doing fantastic things with her house. So we'll see. I like that there are folks like you being early EV adopters and investigators so that folks like me don't need to get arrows in our backs. I went through it with Japanese and French cars in the 70s. Hello from Boise. I'm assuming Boise, Idaho. So hello from one time zone to the east. It is now coming up to 2 in the afternoon. Hello from South Africa. Fantastic. I nearly went into Zimbabwean accent there. I had a
I had a teacher that was from South Africa. She was probably one of the scariest, but one of the most. I respected her a lot, but she was very big and very kind of terrifying.
All right, so
good opinions about her though.
I think TE and Fully Charged are different and can quite happily coexist. I think you're totally right. And we've actually had that conversation with Robert and Johnny before in the green room of Fully Charged Live. I think that was one of the conversations we had this year, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So, do I have dogs? I do have dogs. Hey! Hey, do you keep a trash and bar? Teacher Elon Musk. Teacher Elon Musk. Elon Musk.
Oh.
Yeah. No, hello from Norfolk, UK. I just love that. That's my home county, if you didn't already know. That's why I said, do you keep a trash and bowl? Which is an old greeting from well, I suppose it's a goodbye. Have you ever tested a Think City? I have. I loved them. Hi from Chicago. Hello. Are you going to do a special on the new EVs at the Frankfurt Auto Show? We're going to do a thing on the ID3, which I'm currently writing and researching. So we go from there. Hope it is a heat pump system, says Stefan to Kate. It is. Oh. Do I know anything about Fully Charged show in the US? I do. It's in February, and I'm going.
Yes.
So is she. So is Kate Walton Elliott.
It's in Texas.
It's in Texas. Hi, folks. I'm Nikki's wife, says Kate Gordon Bloomfield. That's good. I didn't know. Hi, Kate. All right. Heat pump depends on the line. The higher priced ones it is. Hi, Kate. You're loved here, says Rob. Kate is another person who owes a lot. Kate Gordon Bloomfield owes a lot. I owe her a lot for this, because if it wasn't for Kate having a day job that enabled me to start Transport Evolved off 6 years ago, we wouldn't be here now. So Kate really helped those early days of Transport Evolved, and she did fantastic things, and I love her dearly. And she is not a YouTuber. She doesn't like being in front of the camera, but she is a great, fantastic woodworker, and I keep wanting her to post more photographs on Twitter of her woodwork, because she's doing fantastic things. She is a Mary Kate on Twitter, if you want to go and follow her, a Mary Kate. All right, late to the conversation. Should EV owners display their cars at ICE car shows? Absolutely, yes, you should. Why not? I know people who take their cars to Cars and Coffee. A car is a car. And a lot of car people I know are very appreciative of electric vehicles. Woodwork merch, maybe.
That'd be interesting.
Maybe. I went to a Comic-Con at the weekend, and I was wearing a pair of wooden glasses on one of my costumes that my wife made me, and she got so many compliments for it. It's not an ICE car show, it's a car show, says Gordon Macmillan, and you are totally right. You are totally right. All right. We are 99,734. Come on, guys. More, please. Hello from Riverside. Love your show. Yours is one of the best and least biased sources of info. Keep up the good work, Nikki. Thank you. Hello from Devon, UK. Thanks to your great informative video. Informative videos. Look forward to your new episodes every week. And now everybody kind of wonders how I can get words out so quickly when I'm doing the shows. It's because I edit. Editing is your thing. Find your thing and go extreme on it. That's true. I like that. I ride a bike a lot. I don't like how old cars smell and how noisy they are. I love electric bikes and my Nissan Leaf because it is quiet and I don't mind. I don't make pollution when driving. And that is a really good reason to go electric. I like that. That is very, very important. All right, let's talk about some of the topics that you guys said you wanted to talk about at the beginning here. So let's talk about V10 Tesla and the Joe mode and the Netflix and the YouTube and the karaoke. I think that's great, karaoke. So the version 10 of Tesla software is now being previewed, rolled out, whatever you want to call it. And that includes the ability to watch Netflix or YouTube when your car is parked up. So when your car is charging,
right.
you can
Didn't
watch
they have
Netflix.
something with a game as well? Or
Well, the
something
games
like
are
that?
still there as well, but now
Yeah.
you can have karaoke, which means you can play karaoke while parked in your car.
Really?
Mm.
That's an interesting choice.
Now, I don't know. I mean, I think it's a great thing. I think Joe mode is fantastic. And I love the comment that Joe Scott put on from Answers with Joe. He was saying Joe mode is best mode. I think Elon Musk said Joe mode is best mode, and he was like, yeah. And Joe mode is a great thing. Joe mode mutes or at least turns down some of the chimes and alerts that you get. What have I missed?
You can play Cuphead on a Tesla.
You can.
That's funny. That is wild,
isn't it?
Oh my god,
isn't it? And it would be great to see. We've got this new mode coming in, and it means that if you've got kids in the back, they don't get annoyed by the noises from the car. Yeah. Now I have, I thought you meant a V10 Tesla, like someone put a V10 in a Tesla. No, not quite.
Going
V10
backwards.
Software
let's
for a Tesla. People have put
God.
Internal combustion engine motors in Teslas. I've
Really?
seen a couple. Yeah.
Why? Just cause? Just because? Yeah.
Because of that reason.
Oh. Ooh. I gotta say, I find it very funny that we live in an age where we can play video games on software on a car. That's kind of wild to me.
Yeah,
that we're at that point.
Yes, and the Tesla can make fart sounds, which you already knew about, of course. Yeah. But Joe mode, I think, is a great idea. How about Elon putting Smashdown on Porsche? I don't know. There's lots of rumors flying around about Nürburgring and Tesla and lap times and cars overheating and not overheating, and I don't know who to listen to. So you know what? I'm just going to stay quiet on that one. I really am. I think it's fantastic. Don't get me wrong. I think it's fantastic that Tesla is going to the Nürburgring, went to Laguna Seca WeatherTech Raceway. I wish, this is why I hate the idea of sponsored names, because it used to be Laguna Seca Mazda Raceway. Now it's Laguna Seca WeatherTech Raceway. It's Laguna Seca, right? I like the fact that Tesla broke a new record there, or at least set a fast track time, and some people were like, yeah, it's not sanctioned by Laguna Seca, so it's not a record, and the same is true for Nürburgring, which is fair enough. But it's fast, and it's showing that Tesla has the power and the software and the hardware and the new chassis design with the ludicrous plaid, or the plaid mode, sorry, with the 3-motor setup and the 7 seats in a sedan. That is wild. I mean, 7 seats. And to clarify, people were asking about the 7 seats, going, are you smoking pot or something? Tesla's had 7 seats available for years. Because the two, you could at a time you got a 5 adult seats and you got 2 jump seats in the back for the kids. But all of the rumors suggest that we're now talking about 7 full-size adult seats in the S, which would suggest that the floor is pretty low in the back, so you can get those extra seats in. It suggests more than just a couple of motor upgrades. And I think that's fantastic. I love that Tesla's doing that. My question there, though, is that maybe Tesla is it always feels that Tesla needs to focus itself a little more in a different direction. It's great that Tesla's making all of these vehicles, but sometimes I think that they get diverted into different areas of interest rather than focusing on the thing that we really all want them to do, which is to bring down the mass adoption price of electric vehicles. And I think the current S with the Ludicrous is pretty fast, and the X is pretty fast, and the 3 Performance dual motor is pretty fast. Can we now focus on bringing down the prices of batteries and cars and doing that instead? And I worry that Elon is in chasing Porsche, that he's fueling this ongoing Tesla versus the rest of the world discussion, and it means that energy is being diverted away from where it really needs to be focused.
Diverted to Mars.
Diverting to Mars orbit is fairly extreme, right enough. It's true.
Someone mentioned e-bikes.
Yeah.
And how they fit on
on bike racks.
Yes.
Well, I carried the Rad City power bike on the back of the Rad City on the back of the Bolt for a while.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, if you remember, I had when it arrived.
Yeah.
I took it home on the back of my car, and when I brought it back to the studio, I brought it back on the back of my car. So yes, you can, but they're very heavy. I would suggest you're better off with the racks where rather than the ones where you hang the bike on, the ones that you
maybe
put the wheels
like
on.
a tow hitch or
the wheels go on instead. It's generally a little better. Hello from Hamhung, North Korea. Yeah, pull the other one. Kate, from what Nikki said, she sounds like she would be. From what Nikki said, sounds like she would be where she is. What? I don't understand that. And Brian, thank you. I just got your email. You are an absolute star. Also, hello to Alan and hello to Ollie, who both signed up with Patreon support right now. All right. Don't forget to tap the like button. It really helps us with the YouTube search. See, she's really good at this. My wife should be on the channel as well. All right. Thank you to everyone for tuning in. That is true. Should Tesla inspire and leave Volkswagen to deliver 1 million cars a year at regular ticket prices? I think there's enough space in the electric car world for both of those things. There's enough space for Tesla, and there is enough space for Volkswagen and all these other companies. And I think that's really important.
There should be enough space.
I think at the moment Tesla is a flagship brand. It's an aspirational brand, and I think that it's great that Tesla is doing so much amazing advocacy for electric vehicles, and we shouldn't ever take away from that. I stand by what I said about Tesla getting sidetracked, trying to make ever faster, ever quicker vehicles, because really it doesn't need to. That's not where the money's at. And the problem with that is, yes, it's great that Tesla's making faster vehicles, but the challenge is the only people who can afford those faster vehicles are the people who already have Teslas.
Yeah.
You're not expanding the market at that point.
The one thing I will say is I have noticed a significant increase in Teslas, at least in the Portland metro area. It seems like there's just a lot more, which is awesome. And it's great. And like you said, I like that they're a flagship brand. They're really helping kind of promote the word of electric vehicles and things like that. But really, there should be more room and space for other companies to kind of branch out into that category.
And as Gordon says, how much time and energy has Elon got, and how thin can he slice his attention? Elon has a scary brain. He is scary smart, and he has a lot of energy. And I don't think he'll ever be any different. And I think that's okay. And I like the fact that Elon just has that boundless energy to get things done. But like I say, I think we need to focus on everybody who's making that switch as well. All right, let me see if I can go back and read some of these. Tesla needs to stop their pursuit towards the brand. Brand image is important, but there's going to be a point where questions will be asked about their mission and selling cars, says LibC. That's kind of where I'm at right now. Tesla just patented a new battery chemistry. It did. It uses a 2-additive electrolytic process. You can add up to so many as 5 additives into the electrolyte, which can improve the energy, capacity, density, longevity. But those interactions between those electrolytic additives can be a little unpredictable. So Tesla's worked on a 2-additive process that it's said is cheaper to make and has a really good result, really good performance and longevity. So that's where it's going there for that. All right, congratulations on your silver badge. So you're probably 2 to 3 years away from the gold. Wouldn't that be lovely? We're not there yet. We're not 100,000. As someone who was trolling earlier on said, you're not 100,000. But I don't know how many people do live streams after getting 100,000.
I've seen a lot of people just do live streams to get to
100,000. And we're growing.
Most
we're
people,
getting
if they haven't 100K
we've added about
already.
20 people, I think, since we started. So it's working. All right. Is your merch made of organic cotton?
Not yet, but we can definitely look into it.
We've
are
been
looking at also doing like reusable bags and things like that.
So jute.
Yeah, and then
bags.
We do have some new Patreon perks and things like that we're working on rolling out here relatively soon that are made of recycled papers and things like that. So we are working on doing more sustainable merch designs.
Yeah, that is one of the things we are looking forward to.
Mhm.
We want to basically make Transport Evolved merch as responsible as we possibly
Mhm.
can, and we are aware that there are some better options out there. We just need to make sure that we have the right cost analysis, because sometimes we can go out somewhere and find this boutique organic cotton merch supplier, and then people will turn around and go, but it's $50 for a t-shirt.
Yeah.
Why am I paying $50 for a
Mhm.
t-shirt? So we have to find that happy medium. If you've got any suggestions, I would love to hear about it. All right. Dan Fox Davis. That's a cute icon. Hi, Nikki. You're doing a great service for electric car adoption. I like your effort to be balanced. Thank you. Tony Z. Why are all companies doing limited production of EVs in Europe instead of doing a full run? Well, okay. I don't think Volkswagen's goals can be talked about as being a limited run. I don't think Renault's goals can be talked about as being a limited run. I think that at the moment, there is a challenge for mass adoption, and I think there's the challenge to make enough vehicles. But I think some of that is down to the fact that companies, already profitable companies that have shareholders, have a duty to the shareholders, and so therefore they can't go the same way from there. But I just got an email in from someone who's no longer at Tesla. That's fine. That's fine. Sorry, that caught me off guard there. Where was I? Right, okay. So these companies have, they have a duty to their shareholders, and they can't invest all of their money into making EVs overnight, because the investment required to make that transition is probably larger than their current assets and everything else. Unlike Tesla, which started up from nothing and has grown out of electric vehicles, that's one of the reasons why it's doing so well, even though, financially, it's still got a long way to go. These traditional automakers have to try and keep bringing the money in while spending the money on electric vehicles. And I think that's one of the reasons why people are kind of kicking back. It's one of the reasons why we've got these layoffs for GM. It's because GM's going, okay, we're going to take the cars that we don't think are selling well. We're going to stop making them. We're going to make cars that we know in the short term will make us a lot of money, with a focus on making those transitional vehicles down the line. I don't agree with that, but I can see why they're doing it from a business point of view. And I think what we forget in this sector is that companies have to make profits. That's their sole purpose, whether we like it or not. And making that transition to electric has to happen according to how much money they have in that setup. So there we go. All right. Where are we at? Mass adoption requires EVs in all price ranges, such as the new China-only Renault are around 8K. We get bashed about EVs being too expensive, yeah. I think Rivian and Bollinger will complement Tesla. Yes, I do. Different market, exactly. Hemp is a great fiber for fabric. We can do some hemp bags and see if we can find some hemp bags.
I've seen a few about questions about hats and things like that as well. We should definitely, could you get the notepad? Okay.
All right. So that's a really important question. Have you ever bought clicks, likes, or subs? Never. No. We have spent zero on advertising to grow the channel. I think we had some free advertising from Google at one point, but we've never spent any of our own money, because organic growth seems to be a better way of growing. Because with organic growth, you generally retain your audience.
It's legit.
Yeah, it is legit. It's a legitimate follower account. No, honestly, we've never bought any kind of clicks, ads, or anything like that. All right, the avatar is from an image by Frey Fox, commissioned. Great, I know that name. It's really cute. Look at that. Look at that little face. It's cute. Oh, that's nice. Sorry, we're talking about commissions. We shouldn't. Not sure why he's adding 7 seats to the S, since that's going to be one reason getting an X. Elon planning to phase out the X due to complex. Is Elon planning on phasing out the X due to its complexity, expense, especially with the Y and the pickup coming? I don't know. Hi, Nikki, says Mythos Gander, just bought a Bolt EV and I'm indebted to you and others like Fully Charged for really showing me it's possible and fun to go electric. Thank you. I'll see you at Fully Charged Live USA. Any news on dry cell batteries? I'm sure there is. There's so much going on in the news at the moment. This is the other reason why we need to grow the channel, because it's just us 99% of the time. Limited markets don't stop companies like Samsung from making Android tablets or Chromebooks. I suppose you're right. Seize the means of production. Just ordered 2 of your hoodies, one for the S, another for a Y. We just put a pre-order on. Do you do TE ball caps? No, but we will.
Yep, I've written
She's
it down.
already put it down. As a wide body, I don't intend to buy shirts, but I am a huge fan of hats. There you go. Hi, Nikki. Only been watching for the live stream for a short while, but a couple of things you might find useful regarding your merch and size. Firstly, look into hemp-based paper instead of traditional. Yeah. Do you print and ship out your merch? No, because you don't have a printer.
Nope.
So
printers are really nice. Printers are really expensive.
I mean, you've printed before, right?
Yes, I did photography. Yay! So
animation. And animation.
Yeah, but this is what we're if we're thinking about like really nice printers, they take a lot of time to get a really good print quality. 1, 2, they're really expensive and really big. We only just now really got enough space for like, additional film locations and things like that in our own space. So I don't think a really nice printer is exactly within our budget at the moment. Now, we don't have to get something like what we had, which was like, it was like way big. It was like huge. It was really nice though, but a printer would be fun, but it's not up there. Camera equipment would be.
Yeah.
And actually finishing our our little sets and things like that are definitely.
Yeah, we've got to finish the sets. I wish I could take this around and show you. There are some videos on the channel. It feels like we're always going, well, we need more money to do things, which is kind of true. I mean, we are growing, and one of the things you can talk about a little later on is how we make our money and how we do what we do. Because I think, I don't know if you want to know about that, because I know it's something that a lot of people ask, why I'm not doing this from my house.
Yeah.
When we lived I used to literally live down the road. Yeah. And actually I just want to say a thank you to that person. Somebody locally realized that I lived in his old he lived in my old complex. And I'm very grateful to that person for not publicly stating it, because
thanks for not doxing Nikki.
Thanks for not doxing me. There you go.
We appreciate it.
That is, wow, JP. You just increased your pledge.
Oh, awesome.
Thank you. And Lyle, thank you for increasing your pledge too. You guys are awesome. Thank you very much. We had 2 people just increase their pledges. That's brilliant. We've just taken us over, I think, she says, looking for the window. You've just taken us over.
Let's see.
$3,000. No.
We're $4
short. So
very
if we get
close,
$4 more in Patreon support, we'll go to $3,000 a month, and that really makes a big difference.
We're hitting all sorts of fun.
We're hitting all sorts of fun things. We should do this more often.
Well, someone said we should do more live streams.
All
Maybe
right.
we should do something. We'll talk about it.
I need more drink. Need to hydrate. Keep hydrating. This is well water, by the way.
Oh yeah, you're fancy.
I have a fancy well.
She's got a well on her property. Oh. On her triangle-shaped property. I
have a triangle-shaped lot with a well. And I had to replace the water heater shortly after I moved in. I opened the closet one day and I smelled water, and I said to my wife, there's water in here. And she said, don't, that's fine. It's probably coming up from the crawl space. You'll be fine. And then I looked in later on and it was leaking. And she's still watching. I love the fact that my wife is still watching. And so Kate, my wife, said, it's probably not leaking. And I was like, okay. And then I looked the next day and it was leaking. It was water everywhere. And so we had to fix the pipe. And I'd never soldered pipes before. So I had to cut the old pipe off and desoldered it. And we put a new pipe in. And of course, we had to turn the water off for that. Unbeknownst to us, with well water systems, there's something called a low pressure cutoff valve, which when the water pressure drops beyond a certain point, just cuts off the pump, so it doesn't work. And I fixed the hot water.
And you have a
tried to turn it back on, and then I spent 2 hours looking for this special little valve. I went down into the crawl space and I looked around, because this is the first time I've owned a house that doesn't have mains water. And I looked around, and we ended up, our neighbor pointing us to a shed on the corner of our property that we thought belonged to our neighbor. Turns out it was our little well house, our pump house. It smells of stuff, but you know. Can you drink? Nikki has a good sense of smell and is an excellent solderer. Mad props to House DIY. Thank you. Can you drink your tap water? Yes, we can. I mean, our well water, the quality of the well water is actually better than what you get around these parts in a tap, and the tap water is pretty good.
Orlando tap is crap. I'll tell you that right now. It is crap. Lived there for 18 years.
Erin is a former Floridian, so you know.
Orlando tap is crap. Tastes like swamp. I went down there 3 years ago because my family has I have moved from there since, obviously. But so my family still have a vacation home down there, and I don't know how many times they ran that water through, like 7 times. Ran it through a Brita filter, still tasted like swamp. I swear. It is just so bizarre. It is just, you're better off getting bottled water or something like that if you're visiting, honestly.
Yay, we're at $3,004 a month. Thank you, everybody.
Oh, awesome.
That is fantastic. Woo! All right, so
we appreciate you.
Thank you very much. Is Erin from Orlando? Yeah, you're not wrong.
Yes. I am. I'm born and raised.
All right, back to the questions. Wow, this is fun, but hard work. Isn't it going to cause problems for the US EV adoption if companies like Volkswagen don't sell their new EVs in the US like the ID3? Well, Volkswagen's bringing the ID4 to the US, which is going to be their next thing. So ID4 is going to be the thing they're bringing rather than ID3. So horses for courses. It's quite common around the world. You know, I think one of the things that it's very difficult to understand if you've not lived in multiple countries, or you tend to just be focused on one country, is that there are cars that car companies make that are not sold in other in markets around the world. So one of the cars that I would love to see I don't think it's even made anymore, but there used to be a car called the Nissan Micra. It was sold in Europe. It was really popular. They sold them in Japan as something else, and it was also available in Canada. Just wasn't available in the US. Tiny little Nissan, really cute little car, very efficient.
So you're saying it's a small car, and it wouldn't sell in the US because it's small.
That's right. But the Micra is still going strong here in the UK. I think they've stopped selling it in Canada now. And there are cars over here that are sold. So a good example would be the Volkswagen Passat. The European version of the Passat is so much better than the American version of the Passat. Like super better in Europe compared to America. In Europe, you can get a plug-in hybrid version of the Passat. With a Golf GTE drivetrain. Over here, it isn't available because the car is completely different. It may look similar, but the American Passat and the European Passat are two different vehicles. They have different platforms, different drivetrains, etc., etc., etc. Sound sync wandering. I'm not entirely sure why that is. I do apologize. That may be something to do with the connection. Nothing. I've changed nothing. Would love to have had the Bolt promoted here in the UK. There are a few so rare here. True. I haven't ever seen a Bolt in the UK. Do you mean the Ampera E? I'm sure someone has purchased one and brought it over. Someone said, when's the ID4 coming out? 23, 24? It's 21, 22, I think.
Orlando represent.
Son of Norman Collier, only Nikki will get that. There you go. Micra is still made in the UK, a bit bigger nowadays. The Nissan Micra was available in the US and was sold like the Ford XR8 South Africa 6-litre Ford Sierra looking car. One exists in the UK. It's true. You're spoiled for EVs in the US. Here in Oz, we have such limited choice and no government incentives, hence limited uptake. The Micra has grown a bit. It has. Same thing. The Toyota Yaris is a completely
Not
different
so
car.
micro now, is it?
It's true. It's like the Mini not being a Mini. All right. So where are we at? We talked about the whole Tesla V10 thing. We talked about Plaid. We talked now. Someone said, well, can you talk about the Taycan and the $500 MP3?
Yes.
So the Taycan has an option where you can add noise in the car and outside the car for $500. And you know what? I'm sorry. If you have enough to buy a $140,000-$150,000 car,
yeah,
I don't care whether you have a vroom vroom sound in it or not. If you want to pay $500 more to have a vroom vroom sound, and it means you're going to drive an electric car,
yeah. I mean,
instead of buying a Macan or
I mean, preferences. People got their preferences.
All right.
Honestly, I mean, I like my Honda, but it makes a lot of noise. I'd like a car that makes less noise. But I'm significantly less of a car person than you are, so.
Well, there you go. Is the Nissan ENV200 in the US? Technically, no. Was there one? Yes. I'm still trying to track it down.
Oh.
So Nissan leased or gave some ENV200s to the local electricity board here in Portland.
Oh.
There were a couple that were being driven around on a test fleet, and I keep meaning to go down into their parking lot and see if it's down there.
Just stalking the car.
Well, I mean, come on. The ENV200 is one of my favorite.
There it is.
Okay, so my wife rocks. She said for each new $500 Patreon supporter, she'll volunteer to record and send a custom vroom vroom sound. I love my wife. She's very funny.
So is it like a vroom 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 or something like that? I mean, I'd pay money for that.
Oh dear. If you want to switch your Honda to an EV, you could use a Raspberry Pi and generate an engine sound. That is true.
Crank the bass up. There you go.
When all cars are EVs, they won't need to make any noise. It'll just be because we're used to it. Well, I think, I have mixed views on this because I've actually been creeped up on before by an EV. Yeah. I've also been creeped up on before by a hybrid, but it's generally because I've not been paying attention, not because the car has necessarily been trying to run me down Christine style.
Jeez. That
would be another good movie poster. Christine, EV Christine.
Well, we talked about that like last year, and then
I think I vetoed it.
Yes, you did. You did, because it was like, no. Yes. Perfect. That'd be the perfect reboot. Electric car. Can't hear it. There you go. People's true fear. It's the real reason why people are scared of electric cars. Not because change is different and scary.
Bolt 2017 versus 2018. What, if any, significant differences were there between them? Not a huge amount. I think the 2018 got the automatic heater on the steering wheel.
Fancy.
As opposed to mine, which just has a button that you press. I can't think of anything else.
Now, totally unrelated to that, but someone mentioned instead of a vroom vroom noise, like a car making a cat noise. What else would be a very fun noise to hear coming out of a car?
Yeah, let us know.
Yeah,
more fun noises for cars. I'd love to hear. I'd love to know.
Duck noises, perhaps. That'd be strange.
All right, we need more subscribers though. We need more people because we're holding. I want a horn that yells Smeg. Get Robert to Llewellyn to record that one for you.
There you go.
Did we have an Instagram account? We do, but we don't really use it. Maybe should. Have you heard about some EVs fans mocking Volkswagen for start button? What do you think about that? I don't understand that. And do you know what, Pierre? I think that's stupid. Let me clarify. It's a button that you press. You don't look at the button, you press it. You don't really need you don't need to read what's on it. I mean, how many people actually look at the button when they press it? my thought here is that Volkswagen is probably using a button that it's got from its other vehicles. It's a common part that's available across multiple vehicles. And rather than remake it, which would cost money to repaint it, redesign it, they're just using a start button from another Volkswagen vehicle to help
too much money.
To help lower the cost of producing it, which means it's a lower purchase cost for everybody. And it's all about the bottom line. You know, if you can save $2 or $3 per vehicle, that amounts to a lot of savings.
What's this Mercedes coming out with 100-mile range hybrid? Really
How about Mercedes coming out with 100-mile range hybrids, not 100 miles, 100 kilometers? Very big difference. So 62
that sounds really good.
miles. And I think actually, you know, that is fantastic because I had a lot of people getting frustrated with me about this. Mercedes-Benz coming out with an SUV. Unfortunately, it's a diesel, plug-in hybrid diesel engine, which has 60 miles or 100 kilometers of range per charge, and it has rapid charging.
That seems like an interesting choice to do diesel.
Diesel in Europe is still fairly popular.
Okay.
Less than it was. But it's a plug-in. What I would love to see is a plug-in range extended hydrogen fuel cell vehicle. I think that would be great. Because if you made a vehicle with a 100 or 200, well, maybe 100, 150 mile range, and then you had a range extending hydrogen fuel cell system in there, then people really, I think, would have complete, you know, zero tailpipe emissions, although you have to account from where the hydrogen comes from.
Yeah. I will just say totally unrelated, but going back to the noises, someone said, David says, T-Rex roar from Jurassic Park. If I could get a car that makes a beeping noise, like a velociraptor noise, like from Jurassic Park, I'd pay money for that. Yeah, that'd be fun.
Yeah.
I'd love to get one of those Jeeps. That'd be cool.
All righty, let's go back and read some of these. All right, Pac-Man noises. Looking to buy a Bolt used, says Lionel. I would go with the 2017 or 18. They're pretty good. I like mine. Car making noise, steam train noise. Yeah, that'd be good. TARDIS noise. That'd be good. I like that. Various FIDs, lol.
Someone said Jetson noises.
Yeah.
Like the
Jetsons sound from me, says several people. All right, what else? They're doing this because of the city restrictions on ICE vehicles? Maybe, but plug-in is going to be better than just completely ICE. Maybe a squeaky shopping cart noise. Oh, really annoying. The TARDIS is cool.
You know it's sneaking up behind you if it's making a horrible noise.
I'd like the Ghostbusters siren. Excited Zoidberg noise.
Jeez. Here you go.
A duck or badly played oboe.
I was gonna say that's a little close to home.
I can do that. I broke a reed yesterday. I was playing yesterday.
No.
So you see, Saxman, hello Saxman, posted a couple of weeks ago saying, I think I knew you in a former life. So I think we may have been colleagues at one point. Warp sound from the Enterprise D. I guess maybe now I can actually tell everybody about Enterprise, our old address.
Oh yeah, you could.
So we used to have a studio in Portland, and the number of the street was 1701, and we were suite 4 or suite D. So we literally had 1701D as our address for our studio, and I was nerding out about that. So cool.
Big nerd.
I'm a big nerd.
Trekkie.
All right, so let's talk about the Volkswagen ID3. ID3 is coming to market next year. Interestingly, Volkswagen is not going to start delivering any yet. It's going to basically store those vehicles up before it does anything crazy. And I think in some ways that's a good idea, because then it, instead of doing what all the other automakers are doing, which is here's an electric car, but availability is really, really bad, we're going to wait until we've got a large amount of stock and then we're going to sell it. which I think makes sense. I think that is a good thing. Someone says, Lionel says, put a big plaque up at the new studio with 1701D on it. That would be fun.
Next to our soon-to-be silver play button, maybe.
I know. Next to our silver play button, which we're not going to get unless you get some more subs.
Spread the word.
Spread the word. Tweets. Our sub growth has dropped down a little bit. Well, not dropped down. Our subs have not increased as much as we would have liked in this show. So come on. There are going to be more people. You can always support us through Patreon as well. Still 182 people watching this at one go. Yeah. Let's see if we can get it back up to 250.
Well, you're saying all sorts of fun and interesting things.
I know, right? So Volkswagen ID3, they're going to wait until they have a substantial volume of vehicles before they push them out the door, which I don't have a problem with. People were saying, complaining about the charge rate, 100 kilowatts, not enough. And you have to remember that this vehicle is one that's designed to be a run-of-the-mill vehicle. And this comes back to the problem that I think a lot of people have with electric cars. They expect every car to be top of the range, and that's not how the automotive market works.
I want all my cars to be like a Tesla, all of them.
Which is, why not pay a bit more and get a proper Tesla? Because people don't necessarily want Teslas.
I mean, here's the thing: is I might address this in the video I'm going to make. I don't really want a Tesla. I don't want a Tesla. They're nice, but
they're nice to ride in. Yeah. But I wouldn't necessarily want to have a daily driver to do. And I think when people are constantly comparing everybody else to Tesla, they're doing a disservice to the electric vehicle world, because they're essentially existing inside a bubble in which they assume everybody has a disposable income of $2,000 a month.
It's definitely a kind of there's it's interesting just because Teslas are great in the sense that they are really helping to push the EV market to its limits. It's really kind of testing and pushing boundaries, and I really appreciate that. I think that's a really great thing, and I'm glad that there is a company that's they're super focused on that, and I like that. But then again, I don't think we're doing a disservice to other companies that are trying to better their electric vehicles and things like that.
And I think at the end of the day, honestly, it doesn't matter to me if a company is making an electric vehicle because someone is holding their feet to the fire, or if they genuinely want to make the vehicle. If the vehicle is good, I will buy it.
Yeah, absolutely.
I had to decide when I got the Bolt. I had to decide how I felt about GM and electric vehicles.
Yeah. And here's something interesting is, again, I'm going to talk about this more in my video, but I'm a big fan of Japanese cars. I love Japanese cars.
Yeah, as do we.
But honestly, some of the better electric vehicle options I've seen are European or American. I really do like the Bolt a lot, actually. Ever since I got the chance, you let me drive your car.
I did. Why don't you tell everybody about that while I need to go and get some more fluid, and I also need to make a little break somewhere. I'll be right back to talk to everybody.
All right.
Do you want to drink?
Could you give me some water, please?
Yeah, sure.
Anyway, yes. So when we had CES, oh my gosh, that was back in January, so long ago at this point. But it was fantastic. I have a car from 1992, so the difference is huge. Getting in any car that's any age younger than that is a bit jarring, but it's fantastic. It's a great car, and I've been in the Tesla. We got one on loan when we went to fully charged, and that was a great car as well. But again, it's really coming down to priorities, right? Like what the range is, what your priorities are as a car buyer. And other things like that. It's more of a thing of making a checklist, what do I want out of a car? Blah, blah, blah. What's the trunk space? What's the range? What's the price? Da, da, da. And again, that's why I really like Teslas, because they're really, they're really, helping kind of push the limits for EVs. But I want other car companies to kind of, go a little bit forward. That is a darn good question. I am failing to remember. Oh my gosh. Nikki!
Yes.
What Tesla model did we have?
It was an S.
It was an S. I mess them up every time.
It was an S.
Okay, I thought so.
So it was an S. Sorry, we're back. I'm back.
It was a red one. We had a red Tesla.
It was.
It was very nice.
And I broke it.
Oh, it's fine. You didn't break it. You just
I broke the sunroof.
you broke a part of it.
Tesla were very kind.
The way you worded it, the way she worded it when we got the text was incredibly concerning. We thought something serious happened. I mean, yeah, it was serious, but I thought fully destroyed. Okay, I was worried. I was like, oh God, what'd she do?
It was the Model S 100D. It wasn't a performance.
It was still nice to ride though.
And I broke it because I put a GoPro on the roof, on the sunroof, and one of the buttons.
It's where your paddles are.
Yeah, one of the. I didn't realize it was customizable, and someone had customized it for the sunroof. And when I opened when I was driving it, the sunroof was open. I accidentally hit it, and it opened. That's it. And it
was it okay. So
smashed the camera into the back of the thing and then cracked the glass.
I do have to ask because I know you were doing that day. You were doing the Tesla taxi service,
right?
Was anyone in there?
Nobody was in there. It was on the way back.
That's good. I was gonna say ooh.
Tesla UK were lovely to it.
Yeah.
Tesla UK are very kind to me and very wonderful, and I still feel very bad about that. But they sorted it out. So thank you. That's why I don't get invited to Tesla events. No, I wasn't invited to Tesla events before then.
I mean, not before then, definitely not after then.
No. So someone was asking, all right, we're 99,742. Keep it coming. Come on.
So Nikki, not related to what we have there, but then related to events and things like that. You said we have something coming up on Thursday.
Yeah.
You haven't told me exactly what it is. You just kind of mentioned it.
Okay, so we are going to Eugene, Oregon, where we are going to.
Thank you for the word, by the way.
That's all right. It's not well water.
Oh, it's not well water.
I can see the little particulates in it, as opposed to mine, which is lovely and clear and beautiful.
The chemtrails.
So, how big oil is stopping people from driving electric.
It's oil. My oil water.
I'm sorry. I'm just in a really silly mood today. All right. So where were we? All right. So we are going to Eugene, where we are going to a launch event. And anybody like to guess what the launch event is? Someone must know.
Is it a big car company?
It's not really a car company.
Is it a truck?
It's not a truck. It's one of those gray area companies.
Is it the Solo?
It's closer to the Solo.
Ooh.
Except it's not a solo vehicle. It's a duo vehicle. I might have to take you around town if they let me. Someone's guessed it.
Oh.
Arcimoto.
Oh, okay.
Do you remember that? Have you seen the Arcimoto?
I don't think
little
so.
two-wheeler, a three-wheeler with a little, motorcycle controls.
Oh, so that's what you mean by similar to the Solo. We did the Solo event.
Yeah, we're still waiting for the Solo.
Yeah. No, they're I think they have entered production and they're
I haven't seen them.
I thought I saw an email about it recently.
So for those who are asking, what happened with Harley Davidson?
Well, you went to an event they had in Portland.
I went to an event they had, and we went, and we'd been invited last minute because they didn't realize we were in Portland, and the event was in Portland, and so we were invited, and they said, bring your gear. So I turn up. It was kind of embarrassing.
You were so excited.
It was embarrassing for Harley as well.
Horrible. cool though, because you were like so excited. And to any of you that didn't know, you like bikes.
I love bikes. I love riding bikes. So I grabbed my motorcycle gear and I headed over, and I arrived and I went into the briefing and I kind of signed up and I said, hey, do you know if there's a bike for me to ride or not? Because they'd said on the phone, there may not be a bike, so bring your gear. And one of the people there said, oh yeah, go put your gear on. So I went down to my car and I put all of my motorcycle gear on and I walked back up just as they were finishing.
Yeah.
And they were like, guy, we're really sorry. Like 4 of the bikes got dropped.
Of course. There you go. That's what it was.
4 of the bikes got dropped, which meant that their parts for them, they'd hoped the parts were going to be there, but they weren't. And so because I was kind of the plus one to the party, I didn't have a bike to ride. And I came back to the studio.
Crestfallen. Horrible. It's not their fault. It's not their fault.
It's not Harley's fault. So we're still waiting for that.
Yeah.
I'm still waiting for a loaner of the Zero
definitely
as
depressing.
well. Obviously, I've ridden the Zero.
Yeah.
So there's that. So we're doing Arkamoto on Thursday, and then next week I'm going to Detroit, to Bollinger, to the B1, to the press event there. And my wife says she blames gravity.
Well, that's an interesting. I mean, it's interesting because you got to do. What was the last one you tried? The last electric bike.
The last one I rode was the Zero. The Zero SR. That was around town. And I got told off by someone because a video shows me not completely stopping at a stop sign.
Oh, not that one. Not that one. The one we got on loan. I'm trying to remember. It's
I can't remember what we're talking about.
Are you?
I'm selectively amnesic.
I don't know what you're talking about. Point is the weight.
Yeah, no, I rode the Energica SS9 and
I'm not talking about that, but just
I dropped it.
But I'm more or less talking about the weight.
Yeah, and it's funny because the Arkamoto, not the Arkamoto, the Energica SS9 was a fantastic bike, but super heavy. But the Zero SRF, the Zero SRF is super lightweight.
I was gonna say, is that a thing for like electric motorcycles? Are they usually very heavy, or?
Some of them are, but this was a super lightweight one, and it was super lovely. It was super, super, super lovely. All right, so let's see. The Scion is to be manufactured in the Nevs factory 10 kilometers from my hometown, says Pierre. That is fantastic news. Have you seen the Biomega SIN? Yes, but not enough really to know about it. I'd love to see the Arkamoto Deliberator. I hope that we get to see that. I'm trying to recall where you guys relocated to, Portland or Seattle
or the Portland area.
We're in the Portland area. So you don't live in Oregon. You live in...
Nope, I'm on the other side of the river.
She lives in Vancouver,
other
Washington.
Side? Oh, you could have just kept it at other side of the river.
It's a big city.
No, it's not. It's not that big.
I mean, someone's not going to stand on a street corner and look for you.
Where is she?
We are based in Hillsboro, in Oregon. I don't mind saying that.
Okay.
But I'm not going to tell you my private address any more than I'll give her private address off. You know, you go down the road and then you have to do that and then that. And then when you get to the man with the funny hat, then... all right. Bollinger is going to be really interesting. Yes, it is. Is it classified like a motorcycle, like a standard trike? I think the Arkamoto probably is. I'd love to ride the Livewire. Me too. The Bollinger looks like a very old Land Rover from the 1970s. It's true. It is. And 744. Where's the Rivian event? When?
In Seattle, end of the month. Do you want to try giving a little nudge? Give him a little nudge. Give him a nudge.
You know, I went to the same school as one of the guys at Rivian.
Even more reason to give him a nudge.
Which is awesome.
I know someone that works here.
It's funny because we were at the LA Auto Show, and one of the guys there was like, "So you're British?" And I'm like, I am, yes. And he said, well, where are you from? And I said, oh, I'm from Norfolk. And he goes, whereabouts in Norfolk? And I said, just outside Norwich. And he said, well, I used to go to this school. And I went, well, so did I. We went to the same school. So there we go. My hair is now a mess. Can't have my hair a mess on.
Someone did say you should try your hair and mullet.
And a mullet?
Mm-hmm.
No. All right. How about the Mini Cooper, Honda City E, Fiat, Volvo, MG, Fox, and a dozen other European manufacturers' models? So more EVs coming to market is better for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd like to see the market expand, whether it's 2 wheels, 4 wheels, 3 wheels, no wheels.
No wheels.
I think that is great news for everybody. It's a private event for pre-order holders.
Well, never mind.
I did promise that we were going to buy it. We did kind of tacitly get an okay from my wife to do that. But at the moment, I don't think $1,000 down on that is going to necessarily be. ID Buzz is going to happen, Nikki. And if so, will you lease one? The ID Buzz? Yeah, I know. I'd love an ID Buzz. I think that would be great. But I'd rather have an original one converted. Grow up with military ships in Norfolk. There you go. Different subject. I'm thinking of getting a used BMW i3. You mentioned recently that Kate Walton-Elliott had a lot of issues with her i3 in the past. Can you elaborate a bit? Any advice on what to look out for? Well, we did actually, Mark, we did have some videos on the channel about that. Yeah. Kate, I hope you're still watching. Kate Walton-Elliott, I hope you're watching. If you have the link to that video, if you could show that in the chat, that would be great. The BMW i3 problems that Kate had revolved around, she had an issue with the DC quick charge port not working, not wanting to charge. She had issues with the heating system.
Some dealing with just the dealership in itself, wasn't it?
Just dealership issues and the car having issues. And also something to do with battery management not behaving itself as well. Kate, I know that you can probably exemplify that a little bit more than I can. So please do in the chat.
And as far as Rivian allowing media content creators, I mean, most
companies do. But like I say, here's the challenge. So there are limited budgets. The startup world for electric vehicles is kind of small. And there are limited availability and limited choices available for people to take part. And we are not always on the top of everyone's list for multiple different reasons. One of them is... but
if you said you wanted to get one, they'd let you.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm sure Rivian would be able to help
you want to give us money? Sure.
I think sometimes we don't get invited to events because you don't know the right people.
It's always about who you know.
And also, while I may come across as an extrovert, I'm not. I hate talking to people.
This is ironic. You're talking to 167 people at the same time.
I know, right? It blows my mind, actually, and scares me that 100,000 people, near as damn it, watch, and 1 million people watch our content a month. And it blows my mind. And sometimes if you come up to me, maybe I should say this publicly, if you ever come up to me outside of an event and you say, oh, hi, Nikki, I love your stuff. I love hearing from people who say I love your stuff, and I love hearing your stories. But please forgive me if it takes me a few seconds to kind of put my brain into that place, because sometimes it's... it can sometimes be a challenge. I know, Tony. I know we still have fewer than 100,000 subs. We set this up hoping that we get there today. Maybe we'll or not. But I think sometimes when people catch me off guard, I'm like, my brain is like a deer in the headlights, going,
hello.
So I have to actually, I have to think about that a little bit. I'll come to your leaf question in a second.
That's fine.
Yeah, that's a really good idea. I like that tweet. What a good idea. Tweel says, nobody leaves until we get to 100,000, and everybody should share their favorite Transport Evolved video on their social media platform. That would be great. Go do that now. Everybody find your local favorite video and just share. Yeah. Do it. All right, so back to why some companies don't invite us. So where was I? I was saying that I'm not a particularly pushy person.
You're not a particularly
I'm not
extroverted person.
I'm not into self-promotion.
Yeah.
Like I don't do. There are a couple of YouTubers out there who are like, look at us, we do fantastic things.
I mean, yeah, but
that's great, but I'm not that person. I'm not.
That's kind of the thing with promoting is you have to be, as a small company, you have to be your biggest, horn tutor, so to speak, kind of thing. You gotta, be you're basically self-promoting. You have to. It's, if you see a lot of the bigger, like, couple million subscribers, they're always doing all these, call to actions and things like that. And that's why we have to do it is, gotta play the game.
And sometimes it drives me up the wall. I would love nothing better if, like I say, if everybody who watched this channel supported Transport Evolved on Patreon, just $1, maybe $2 a month.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have any ads on my videos at all.
Yeah.
We would be 100% Patreon supported. And that is something that I go for. I don't like the idea of paywall because some people say, well, why don't you just charge people like a YouTube fee so you have to watch it
premium or something like that?
Yeah, but I don't like the idea that there are people who want to watch my content who can't afford to pay for it.
Yeah,
and I don't want to stop them from watching it. So that's why we do.
The idea is getting information to as many people as possible.
Right, exactly.
And to paywall, that doesn't seem to be very true to the vision, You
need a traditional car person to join your team like Robert did. Did you watch our video a couple of days ago about the cars we love? Because we did love traditional cars. We did have a TV promo at some point. Kate still has the tapes. Kate Walden-Elliott apparently still has the tapes.
Oh.
Because it was old enough. We spent a whole day filming that promo.
I've seen the way you look at Kate's car. I've seen the way you look at that car.
Excuse me, I need to be alone.
I'm leaving.
So she's going. Are we going to see Michael Thwaite back? I would love to get Michael back. He's busy doing other stuff. We still talk occasionally, but he's not involved with the channel anymore. But yeah, I'd love to have him over and on at a point. What did I do?
Kate.
I'll let you have some private time with Rebecca. Oh dear.
I mean, but the thing is that the point was that you love cars.
I love
not
cars.
Just EVs.
I love driving.
Yeah.
I love riding. I love traveling, basically.
You should put some of those. Are any of those videos up from when you did that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, the one that got to see attention for the TV production company is up, and it is terrible.
Maybe you should. That'd be fun to do.
Terrible.
That'd be fun to do a video on that.
Like a retro version of that video.
Or something like that.
We should do a retro.
Or maybe
version.
like not a recap, but some kind of revisiting it or something. I think that'd be fun.
Yep.
It's not exactly EV related. But.
I know, right? So, where were we? Right. Why we don't go to events, all the events. Sometimes sometimes car companies don't know that we exist.
Yeah, it's
because in the UK it used to be the press teams that ran the press companies. So each automaker has a press team, and the press team tend to know all of the journalists. It's how they work. They're like, oh, you do this, fine, you can come to this.
Yeah.
And I still get invites from UK and European automakers inviting me to stuff, and I have to turn around and go, I'm really sorry, I'm in the States now. Whereas over here, automakers tend not to do a whole lot of direct promotion. They work with PR agencies, and PR agencies tend to work with the companies that have got the biggest mouths.
Yeah. Who you know. It's all who you know.
It's all about who you know.
And
I'm not a great big networker. So do I know the EV News Daily podcast? I haven't met him, but I know of the show and I do listen sometimes. I would like to see more driving videos. Yep, we can do more of those. I'm just going to keep this. Should I keep the stream alive? Do you want me to keep streaming? Tell me in the chat. We're going to lose Erin in about an hour, but she's going home. She's reached her thing for the day.
Home.
Drive home. So Erin gets in.
Oh God! I've been
7.
handcuffed.
Hang on.
Jill
Is
says
that-
I can't leave.
Yeah, but that's one of us.
Is it?
That's
Well, I
one
mean,
of
yeah,
us.
it is, but I don't know which.
Yeah, that's one of us. I don't know who that is.
One of us. One of us.
That looks, yeah.
Anyone? Anyone? One of us. One of us.
Okay, so right. Where was I?
Getting invited to events.
Still trying to explain this. So we get invited to events, and we have to network. And in the US, we haven't been that successful with networking. I think partly because people watch and they see me and they hear my voice, and they watch Kate Walton Elliott and they hear her voice, and they go, "Oh, you are in
Oh,
the UK," and so we don't get invited to US
And
stuff.
then the UK people invite you, and you're like, "Oopsies." So
maybe I just need to be super American.
there you go. Switch on to your American accent.
I don't know if I can just turn it on like that, but so anyway, we tell people, no, we're in Portland, Oregon, and they don't really like that. Well, people don't realize that we're in Portland, Oregon. They think that I am in the UK, and therefore people say that we are we're not in the right place. But the other reason is that a lot of car companies won't invite us because they're scared about what we're going to say.
That's the other thing is a lot of companies like it. I mean, of course, it makes sense if you're a car company and you know someone is going to say nice things, and they're of course going to invite the person that says nice things. If you're someone that has an honest opinion, we're going to keep going anyway. I'm going to keep talking.
No, they're talking about my accent.
Oh.
A lot of people accuse me of putting on an American accent, and it's funny because I don't do it. I mean, I did it then consciously, but sometimes sometimes if I'm talking to someone who is American and I've spent the entire day with American people, I tend to talk with a more Americanized accent.
Yeah.
It's just
your accent changed dramatically the second you went into that airport when we were going to Fully Charged. The second you were in that airport with Kate, it changed.
I became really British.
Yes, and it gradually got more. it increased. It was just so. It was very interesting.
You're a legend, Rob. Thank you.
Like you were still in Oregon and already way more British.
Very British there. Very British. Terribly British.
Yeah, is that right?
Yes, dear. All right. All right. So basically, some car companies, and I've had it through kind of the grapevine, won't invite us because they're scared that we're going to say something that
criticism
that is negative. And I've said this before on this channel.
Legit criticism?
I've said this before. I am going to never agree to do an event with a car company where I get my opinions clamped.
Muffled, basically.
Muffled. I like that.
Yeah.
And so one of the things that we kind of really prize ourselves on is not having an ad revenue, or an income stream that is directly attributable to a particular company.
Yeah.
If that means that we don't get to keep our editorial independence. And sometimes car companies do contact us and ask me, will you come to this event? And I go, if you want me to come as an influencer, the answer will be no. If you want me to go as a journalist, then by all means I will be going, but you must understand that I am going as a independent voice, and you're not going to get any control about what we say. And so some car companies are really scared by that. They want someone to go, and I've seen some of the contracts. Let me reiterate, sometimes like for influencers that invite people will say things like, you're not allowed to talk about any competing products from any competing companies
Mhm.
for the next 6 weeks.
You can't talk about anything else except for us.
Which means,
For
literally, if I went to an electric
month and
car
a half.
launch and they worded the contract right, and I was there as a guest of a car company,
yeah,
I couldn't talk about another electric car
Yeah.
company for 6 weeks.
for like a month
Now,
and a half. That's
If
ridiculous.
I had a YouTube channel, like
what that was supported by
MKBHD, for example,
Mhm.
and he does tech
Yeah.
and he does car stuff as well and
Yeah.
other stuff, and they went, okay, well, you're not allowed to talk about cars for 6 weeks. Fine, I've got plenty of
Well, you
other
can
stuff
switch
I can
back,
talk
yeah.
about. But we're a transportation-based company.
Yeah.
We can't not talk about competition.
Yeah.
And so,
I mean, even if we do have like another, like, I don't know, a truck or a bike or something like that, would that still be? Would a bike be considered competition to a car?
no, I doubt it.
I don't think so.
And Chuck,
yeah.
thank you for that. Reach out to me. I'd love to hear from you. What appalling punctuation? I don't understand that. Right, okay. As Bjorn Nyland might have had trouble with the Nissan Leaf, he'd had a detecting rapid gate thing with the new Nissan Leaf. Someone was asking what was wrong with the 2016 Leaf. I don't think I've had any issues with the 2016 Leaf, not that I can think of.
Is that the year that the Leaf you have?
No, we have a 2013.
Okay.
And let me be really clear about this. We have a 2013 Nissan Leaf with 87,000 miles on the clock. It's adding 50 miles a day. And it's still doing just fine.
Yeah.
It's lost 2 bars.
Yeah.
It has lost some range, but it's doing just fine. My wife drives it to and from the office every day.
That's a 6-year-old car. It's 6 years.
6 years, and yeah, if it so Nissan has a battery warranty for 8 years or 100,000 miles. So, that's terrible. My colon punctuation was about my previous post. Okay. The Nissan Leaf is mostly 30 kilowatt hours in the EU. It's counted as 24 kilowatt hours in the US. The 2017s are the ones where it changed. Only Jonathan Porterfield knows why I'll never own Nissan product. Oh dear, that sounds terrible. Hello to Jonathan. I don't know if he's watching. Say hi if you are, Jonathan. Jonathan's a lovely guy. He's helped literally turn someone, yeah, it was Gordon, I think. Was it Gordon? Somebody else up here?
Can you check?
Rob. Thank you, Rob.
Oh, awesome. Thank
you added extra. I think 4 bars at 80k for battery replacement last time I checked. You are probably right, Smart Charge America. I think that is about right. So that's why we don't go to all events, but also things like costs of travel. So we are going to, which brings us, I think, to the video that I did a couple of weeks ago. I talked about this on the Take 2 channel. But if you haven't seen the video, because it was on Transport Evolved Take 2, go to Transport Evolved Take 2. Subscribe to Transport Evolved Take 2, because that is a channel where we have more behind the scenes stuff. Yep. I know some people watching this will go, I don't like the live streams. Why do you bother doing the live streams? Your content's going downhill. Oh my God. Well, this is a special case, okay? We're doing a special video here. So
there's always people going to be doing
I'm never going to keep everybody happy all the time. No. So there you go. On the Transport Evolved Take 2, I do talk about this a little bit more in depth. But we are going to the Bollinger launch in a week's time. I am flying there. What? Someone? Oh, Mythos. You are brilliant. Thank you.
Thank you.
Keep going, everybody. Let's do it.
We appreciate.
We really do appreciate it when we get people subscribing and being Patreons. Thank you. We are at 799 patrons. Come on, let's get it to 800.
Geez, lots of.
If we can get that to 1,000 patrons and that to 100,000, that is about the right ratio. 1% of people donating to us. That would be fantastic. All right, so we are going to the Bollinger launch in a couple of weeks, or a week's time, and the Bollinger launch requires me to fly to Detroit. I know I drove to LA and back.
I'll be right back.
And that was easy because LA was a long distance trip. Do you want to refill your water while you're going?
No, I'm good. Or wait, you want me to refill yours or?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
So driving to LA and back was relatively easy. Driving to Detroit, less so at the moment. It's going to change a little bit in the future. But because we have to be back for Friday to film, I am going to fly. And, you know, we have to pay for the flights. So we've been given an invite, but because Bollinger is a startup company, we're not being flown out there. But I think that this vehicle is important enough and different enough for us to go and cover it, which is why we are going to the Bollinger event. That's why we're doing it. I am flying to that. The cost of the flight for us was $700 and some. We are staying with a friend of mine in Lansing, Michigan, who has agreed to put me up and also agreed to lend me transportation to get to and from the event. Unfortunately, it will be internal combustion engine transport, but there we go. We are going to that, and we are trying to get to more events. We're trying to go to the LA Auto Show, which is in November, and we have to find somewhere to stay. We're going to be taking a team of 4 people, maybe 5 to that. And so we are on the lookout at the moment for an Airbnb, and we'll stay in an Airbnb. And when we do events like this, it can cost upwards of, you know, anywhere between $1,000 and $2,000 to get everybody there. For LA, again, we have to fly because unfortunately, Erin and I have a commitment on the 21st of November, which is the day after we need to get, it's the last day of the press day. So we have to be back in Portland to then get up to Seattle. Otherwise, we would drive to that as well. And we will offset, obviously, we will carbon offset. Now, we have to put everyone up in a hotel. We also have to pay people to film and things like that. So that is why Patreon is so important to us. It's why our ad revenue is so important to us, because it's not something that we can just dig into like a deep pocket and just pull stuff out and just do stuff. That's fortunately not how it works. I am going to be going to Austin, Texas for Fully Charged Live. And Michael, I did get your very kind offer. Oh, so thank you, Michael. I have got your email and I need to respond to you. I am not ignoring you, but things have been hectic for the last couple of days. So I do apologize for that. When is Tesla going to expand in more markets in addition to America and European ones? Well, it is already in parts of Asia. I think Africa is on the way. South Africa, I think, is either happening or happened. I know that obviously Tesla is moving into other countries around the world. It depends on demand, but obviously it's also a case of cost. To bring a new car to, I don't know how much you guys know about how car companies operate and how much crash worthiness testing has to be undergone in order to get a car into a new market. So crash testing has to be undergone for each country that the car is sold in. Now, in some places like Europe, there is a European-wide crash safety standard that member countries sign up to. But in other countries, they're independent requirements that have to be undergone. And the price of homologation, which is the term used to make sure that a vehicle is legal in the country it's going to be sold in, is an expensive and costly one. Did we get to our goal yet? No, we're not there yet. We're getting there.
We just got over.
We are.
Oh, you want to say it?
Yeah, we are. We have 2039 to 2041 to go.
What? No, or 200.
200, but 200. It's late. 241.
It's not late.
I worked really hard this past week. And
you did. We both did.
We were working. I'm not going to name a client, but we were working on our first non-Transport Evolved video this last week, and my maths is generally really good.
It's just like, what are you saying, 2000? It's okay. It's okay. We both pulled like Friday was a 12. Well, you had longer. Mine was 12 hours.
So I drove to LA and back in 4 days. Sorry. to pick up that award back there. And Erin was at work,
Yeah.
I think, every day last week. You took Monday off.
Yeah, but besides that.
So she worked basically 10 hours every day. And Kate Walton Elliott says, fix it in post.
It's live! We can't fix it post!
How can you tell it's live?
Huh?
How can you tell it's live?
Oh.
Penis. Joke from The Simpsons. Kent, the newscaster in The Simpsons says, how do you know it's live?
I know.
And then he says the word penis.
Inappropriate. You're gonna get demonetized, Nikki. No.
Oh, okay.
Can't say the K word. Can't say any of that.
I can't say the K. Oh, okay.
Gay men.
So anyway, and the subscriber count drops like a stone.
the Tesla gay men.
All right.
Oh god.
Hello from Trinidad and Tobago. We only have the Hyundai Ioniq as an EV for now. Is that the only electric car that's sold in Trinidad and Tobago? That's really interesting. That's really interesting. Is that really water? Yeah, it's my special water. Thank you to Bert for joining.
It's vinegar.
Yeah, thanks to Bert for making a pledge here. Thanks also to John and to
The water
Bert.
assaulted me.
So thank you for that. We are now at $3,011 on Patreon.
Awesome. Oh, and we're at 800. Awesome.
And we've got
guys.
800 patrons.
Yay!
That's fantastic.
You guys are great. Thank you.
Is Erin getting an EV anytime soon?
We were actually talking about that a little
Earlier
bit
on
ago.
in the channel.
I have a video coming up, but spoiler alert, I'm more looking at a plug-in.
Because of how you drive and your housing situation.
Yeah. I unfortunately don't have a whole lot of access to my garage because I live with 3 other people.
And she doesn't have an
Yay.
off-street. She doesn't really have off-street parking either.
We have like one spot, but that's like hardly a spot. In fact, I leave really early because I have a pretty decent commute to get here. But I had to actually grab my roommate's keys and pull her car just a little bit back because it was literally like if I had like maybe 6 more inches, I could have gotten past.
Yeah.
But it's anyway.
Charge at work.
That is something we're planning on doing.
We are looking. We're getting a charging station.
We are.
And we are going to do that. Am I going to do a fan meetup while I'm in Michigan? Maybe I should.
Yeah.
I need to talk to my host.
You should do some
also. Because he's a lovely guy. I love him to bits. But the last thing I want to do is I'm arriving at 11 p.m. late at night on the Tuesday. The event's on the Wednesday, and I'm coming back on the. No, that's not right. I'm arriving late on the Wednesday. The Thursday is the event, and then the Friday I'm flying out very early in the morning.
Yeah.
And I would hate to say hi. If it's okay with you, I'm going to disappear and
I'll come back and
be back to sleep, and then I'll be out in the morning. I don't want to do that, so I need to check with him. I'll be in Lansing, and then I'll be going from there up there. So,
but we should do one. We should do one when we go to Texas.
We will do one when we do go to Texas. You should get a raise so that you can afford.
Yeah,
a Tesla
Nikki,
Model 3.
that Tesla Model 3 that you can afford.
I tell you what. Increase our Patreon. If we can double our Patreon, I think we might be able to do it.
Oh God.
So close to
like,
this
comment, and subscribe, guys.
Right, like,
Give
comment,
me more
and subscribe.
ad revenue, and we can get Teslas.
249 to go. Yep. 249 to go.
We're getting
You're
there.
right.
We're getting there.
You're right. We're so close. And I wouldn't have had this live stream today because, like, I looked at the subscriber count yesterday, and it was like 99,200.
Yeah.
Or 300. So
I mean, it jumped. It jumped. Thank you. I love the Dark Crystal. You should watch the prequel series on Netflix. It's really good.
We are total nerds, though, aren't we?
Yes, absolutely. You already talked about like your big Trekkie, yeah.
And Erin's got how many campaigns going on at the moment?
D&D campaigns. We keep starting and stopping them. Like every now and again, they'll just be like, we're not gonna do that one anymore. Let's do another one. I'm like, you could have told me, and I could have made a character like way ahead of time. But I mean, I think I'm gonna go back to doing Aarakocra on my next one. gonna try Rogue this time. If you speak D&D,
Erin also cosplays and stuff. We did a little thing recently with that. And your 45 Drives shirt. I bet the Linus Sebastian would be happy to see that too. So without the guys at 45 Drives, we wouldn't be able to do what we do today. So Transport Evolved, we currently have about 100 terabytes of storage, and we need to basically, we've got 100 terabytes of storage that is non-redundant.
Yeah.
So we need to have another 200. We need another 100 terabytes so that we can get to a point where, at the moment, we both can't edit 4K at the same time, but we've got the capabilities, but we need the hard drives and the memory to do that.
Yeah, so we have the hardware, but we need more.
we need to.
We have the shell. We need the guts.
We need the guts of the drives. Yeah. We need to spend about $5,000 or $6,000 on our server. Someone said this is a blank corkboard. No, this is actually
it's a sound dampener.
Sound dampener.
I can scream right into it, and it sounds. Except I probably should, because there's content creators right here. But it's really quiet when I do this. Yeah. It's kind of funny.
So they're content creators next door as well.
I shouldn't scream.
Their studio is all soundproof though, which is what we need to do with ours.
I can hear them though when they open their door. It's a loud door.
Yeah. But, you should check out the Blades in the Dark games.
That sounds familiar. I'm gonna
753.
Ooh, there we go.
Come on, guys.
Quick, if we're more nerdy, we'll get more subscribers.
Never mind, found it on your main channel page. Signing up now, by the way. You are my first Patreon pledge. Thank you, Russell. We are now at 801 sweet Patreons. So thank you. We also did a steam. I did a steampunk thing. Went to a fairy world recently, didn't we?
Yeah.
You dressed up in steampunk, and I dressed up in a fursuit.
Yep. Pseudo fantasy, whatever you want to call it.
I don't think we have a photograph of us together, do we? We have a photograph of Queenie.
Yeah. Someone said if I watched Rick and Morty. I have watched Rick and Morty. I'm not like, oh yeah, it's a good show. My roommates really love Rick and Morty. We actually have wait, I have their mug. I used their coffee mug.
You did. You've been using it for the last couple of weeks.
I've been using this coffee mug. There you go. We're not being supported by them, by the way.
We are being nerds.
This isn't what's the word? I'm forgetting. I'm having a brain.
Here we go. So I was a mutineer at a recent it was kind of like a steampunk fantasy. It's
like a pseudo Ren Fair adjacent, you could almost call it.
Just down the road from where I live, and that's as close as I dare get.
Well, that's a little. Anyway, blah 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 blah. It was a good event though. It's kind of weird because it's like, it's not really a Ren Fair, but it's kind of a Ren Fair.
But you had kind of like a little thief thing going on.
I guess it was more like a potion maker or something. Yeah,
I had a little box of.
Yeah, I got a box from a vintage store. It was like a camera box, leather camera box, and I had like
charms in it.
Yeah, I like putting junk in it.
All right, so so back to the reason why we don't travel to every event. It's just cost, because of the costs associated.
Cost, and people don't know us, or people don't like us. Oopsies.
Unfortunately, yeah. So for us to go to CES cost about $4,000 last year, $5,000. I think this year we're working on a $8,000 or $9,000 budget because we're taking extra people so that we get extra stuff.
I listened to the Adventure Zone. My roommates listened to Critical Role, but I really like the Adventure Zone. I really like the McElroy brothers. I'm sorry. I see him coming in.
I think it's brilliant. Thank you, Russell, and thank you, Michelle, for supporting us. We've got some great new patrons coming in. It's really nice to have so many people coming in. Ford's new Go Electric slogan at Frankfurt, but ironically, no, EVs look like they're not that serious. Okay. So I think Ford are. I don't think that everyone is going to come out at the same time with an electric car. You know, this new technology. like any new technology, takes a while to seep in, and it's frustrating as heck. But car companies are only going to make a mass market vehicle when they think they can make money on it. As I said earlier on in the stream, a car company that's already making a lot of money is not going to suddenly stop and turn around and make EVs. Volkswagen is probably the closest to doing that now.
For all of their transgressions
and all of their promises. I mean, I'm aware that Volkswagen is promising a lot, and not a lot has been shown as a consequence.
They're working on it. I'll give them that.
But I mean, you also have to ask yourself, what would you rather have? Would you rather have a company comes out with a limited range compliance vehicle,
or
actually wait until they've got a vehicle that they really pushed and they really wanted to sell? And I think that's where Volkswagen is with the ID3. I think Volkswagen is serious about the ID3. And
for sustainability, I'd like something with a bit more push, personally. But
coast to coast in a City L, a job for an interview in 2021. Do you have a City L? Please tell me you have a City L. I really miss my City L. If someone gave me a City L now, I would be like,
was that tiny little thing that you had?
That I rolled.
Yeah. I remember seeing pictures of that thing.
Have you guys considered collaborating with other up-and-coming channels such as Rich Rebuild and now the guys that do the Tesla Time News? Like I said, I'm rubbish at reaching out to people.
I mean, you did work with a few people though.
We did a collab with Joe.
Yeah.
But that was because Joe watches us and we watch Joe. So that makes it a lot easier to go, hey, do you fancy doing a collab? And I'm not a pushy person. I don't like being pushy. What we really need at this company is we need a video editor. Someone actually reached out to us today and said, someone reached out and said, hey, do you want to, can we work with us? And then someone else said, do you want me to edit videos? And so I'm going to work with that.
Yeah.
And someone said we need music, which we do. And then we also need to work with, we also need to get like somebody whose job it is to do the social manager stuff. We've done some fully charged
Social
collabs,
outreach.
sort of. I mean, I've been on the panels at Fully Charged Live. I work with Robert and Johnny sometimes. Robert's trip that we did, and that was fun. Mine is an older Mini L, says Stefan, but under reconstruction. Is it a Mark 1 or a Mark 2? Oh, I'm very curious now. Stefan, if you want, I think, don't quote me on this, but I think I still have a lithium-ion battery management system that would work in a City L. And if you are interested, reach out to me. It's a Mark 1. It probably won't work. I don't know enough about Mark 1s. I know that the Series 2, I had a Series 3. So I know that the Series 2 that my friend had would have worked with my Series 3 battery management system. So if you need me help, let me know, because I still have some of my resources from my City L days, Mini L days. All 36 volts on the light system. Yeah, that's what I thought. And a 1 point something kilowatt motor. They look so futuristic, the first generation City Ls. They're so freaking awesome. I'm so glad that somebody else who watches this channel knows what I'm talking about when I say, I used to own a City L. I like Zach and Jesse, but they tend to be so biased. They wear blinders, and I'm a big Tesla fan, says Russell. Ooh, that's a nasty thing to say, I guess. I like watching this channel because it does not have the cheesy music, just good content, says Gershwin. We do sometimes have videos, but sometimes not. And Paul says, I'll be right back, going to try and round up some additional subs for you. Yeah, legend,
like
Paul.
and subscribe for more.
Legend, Paul. Thank you very much.
What? Some more dubstep. Let's have some more dubstep.
I think I just got invited to something.
Did you?
Yep.
Hello?
I'm just going to look.
Okay.
Hello?
Don't do that. Not here.
Oh, that's funny. All right. So How many subs now? Nails are gone. We're at 99,756. What's in Erin's drink? Water, just like mine.
Vinegar.
Just like mine.
This is smart.
Nothing stopping a bit of singing instead. I don't think anybody's actually ever heard me sing.
I have. A little.
Properly?
I don't know. I don't think so.
I don't think
Maybe
people want to
jokingly.
hear me sing.
Sad. That's sad.
So it's kind of a sound the trumpet, sound the trumpet, sound the trumpet. I can't remember it because it's a duet and I can't sing both at the same time. So anyway, sold my Series 8 Mark II and my City L when I moved to Germany. You both deserved hugs for all the effort you're giving to the EV revolution. Thank you. For those who don't know, I did used to be a professional musician. I used to be a singer and an oboist, and that was me singing really badly, and I was out of tune.
Have you shown them your professional picture for your?
No, shh, because she's a moderator in the channel, and she will show it to them. Shall all your cares be gone? Shall all your cares be gone? Okay.
Yes.
There was a
album
photo
cover.
that Kate Walton Elliott took. Well, actually, no, it was a friend of ours took. And she took a photograph, a publicity photo that went wrong of mine, and she added text to it, and I'll allow her to share it on Twitter if we get to 100,000 subscribers.
It's really good. I love it. It's just like, woo!
Yeah, so I used to be a professional oboist. I actually broke my oboe out yesterday and played it. That was pretty cool.
It kind of reminds me of the about section for an author almost. It's very close if you want kind of a mental image.
Yeah.
But you won't get the actual thing until we get to 100,000.
Yeah, Kate's not going to post it until we get to 100,000, and then she can do it with the hashtag. I don't know.
That one picture of Nikki.
Picture of Nikki.
That one picture of Nikki.
That one picture of Nikki. All right. So where are we at with questions? Throw some more questions at me. Somebody asked about merch. And someone also asked about...
Someone asked about hats and then things on the
things.
backs. Someone said they used to have a trumpet until they left it on the bus. And that is unfortunate. I am so sorry. I used to be a flautist. I was in marching band in my high school days. I haven't broken my...
I can't remember the words.
Thank you. I haven't broken out my flute in a few months, though. It's been a while.
It's been a while.
Mm-hmm.
Clarinet and tenor sax. Hey, we can have a wind band.
There we go. Mm-hmm.
If you haven't already, I suggest you reach out to Ben Salins of
Oh.
Teslanomics, Sean Michael, and Alex from Eva Electricity. I know Alex.
Yeah.
We've worked with Alex before. And Sean, I know I meant to actually reach out to Sean and do something with him recently. I don't want to dox you, but I bet we went to close by rival high schools.
I mean, I don't live there
Florida.
anymore. I was at Winter Park High School. Man, we freshman year we won state championships.
West Orange.
Ah!
I have no idea what's going on. Anyway.
Winter Park was a really, really big. We had I think it's AAA. We were AAA. We were a big band. Big
AAA,
himbo
you were
band.
big.
We're a big himbo band.
I don't know what that means. But anyway, let's get back to EVs. So we talked about the things we're doing coming up.
Mm.
We're doing Arcimoto, we're doing Bollinger, and maybe we'll try and do the Rivian event, maybe.
That would be fun. If you
But
could get into
then
it.
we're also doing an event. We're going to go to the LA Auto Show, and then we're going to go to CES. I would like to go to the Tokyo Motor Show next year. We can't afford it without everyone's support on Patreon.
That would be really cool. Japan would be a really cool place to go.
It is.
You have. I have not.
Are you going to Akimoto, Anonymous Freak, on Thursday? Because if you are, that will be cool. Is that the speaker out in blah, blah, blah. Thinking of the teenagers that have just gone back to school, what do you think there will be for used sales up the corner of the used car lot for $1,000 ish? Nothing at the moment.
For EVs?
No. They're a smart. The cheapest EV you can buy in the US right now is a Smart for 2, and a Nissan Leaf. Those are the two cheapest. Followed by Fiat 500 and also the whatchamacallit.
How much is the Spark?
The Spark.
Is it the Spark?
The Spark.
Okay.
Yeah, the Spark EV is pretty cheap. A friend of ours bought hers for what, 8,000, 7,000?
Yeah.
Like that. But we are still talking between 5,000 and 10,000 would get you a decent EV. Ditch the Ovo, take up the didgeridoo, and then sell the sound as an EV warning system. Exactly. Nissan cheaper than the Fiat 500? Yeah, probably. Spark EV is super fast. I have a friend who just had one, and that's fine. We'll see. The iMove is down in price. It is true. The iMove is brilliant. Smart pulled out of the US market. Yeah, I know. But there are used smart. Look, where are we? Should we do it now? Let's do some live searching with Nikki on the cars.com website.
Totally unrelated to this.
Yeah.
But I did see a Fit EV, which was very interesting because I've never seen one before. But it was in Portland, which was kind of interesting. They're a limited run of them. Yeah, what were you saying?
They were available as lease only. All right, so Bjorn Nyland says the Fiat 500 is very bad. I loved the Fiat 500e. I thought it was a great little car. The thing that let it down was the fact that it was only available as no rapid charging.
Oh.
All right, so let me see if I can find. Are there going to be more? So there's fuel. All right, so all makes, all models, fuel. We're going to go with electric. There are 16,382 electric cars available right now. And we're going to list them because we're going to say price. Where is the price? Maximum.
I will have to say, someone said Portland is probably flooded with smarts. I haven't actually seen that many recently.
No, I haven't.
I used to see a ton of them like a few years ago, but not so much recently. I think it's because they kind of dropped off.
All right, here we go. If you want to buy an electric car right now, prices for EVs: a Nissan Leaf S 2014 for $8,995, a 2012 Mitsubishi Enya for $8,598. A 2012 Ford Focus electric base, which won't have a DC quick charging, I don't think. The Nissan Leaf S, which doesn't have quick charging. So if you want a car with no quick charging, you're looking at around $8,000, 8 to 9. You can get some used, older Nissan Leafs, for example. There's one here that's 7,794 for 2012.
It's honestly not as bad as I think. Oh, hey,
a Volt.
There you go.
With 8,995 of your dollars would buy it, and it's got 107,000 miles. Lots of Nissan Leafs. Would you like us to yell? We can yell. Let's see. More iMeves.
I saw one. Wait. What was that? 6. What was that? 6. Oh wow.
That's a Nissan Leaf.
Yeah. There you go.
Nissan Leaf S, so it won't have rapid charging. The SL will have rapid charging. Fiat 500e, 7,350. Chevrolet Volt Chevrolet Volt base for 7,495.
I will have to say it's surprising to see how many secondhand are actually that cheap. Personally, I want to get something a little newer. just for the longevity, you know?
2015 Bolt EV 2LT for 8425 with only 32,000 miles on the clock.
Mhm.
That's really good. That's a really good deal. I wonder if it has rapid charging or not. If you're searching for these, by the way, one of the things you need to be able to do, you have to be able to feel comfortable with, is looking to see if these cars have rapid charging, because sometimes these cars won't. So the Bolt, the Spark, the Leaf, the Focus, pretty much every electric car, with the exception of the Tesla range, came with optional quick charging on some trim levels. Now, people keep saying, oh, but the Tesla came with supercharging. No, it didn't. If you bought a high-end Tesla in the early days, yes, you got supercharging. But the Tesla 40 and 60, they didn't actually make a 40. They made a restricted version of the 60, I think, called the 40, or it may have been a restricted version of the 80 called the 60, and I can't remember. Someone will correct me. Didn't necessarily come with supercharging. It was technically there and you could turn it on. Yeah. But it was something you had to pay extra for. All right. I am a big fan for an iMEV. I am too big, sorry, for an iMEV. 150 kilos, not enough space. The iMEV had plenty of room. I think Bjorn's Fiat 500 banana box test was the best to date. The Volt is a hybrid. It's a plug-in. It's a plug-in. That's the most important thing. Test it. It is big on the inside. It's true for the iMEV. On one rare occasion, I can get a Zoe under 10,000 euro, I'm assuming. In the 70s, my dad bought an electric lawn tractor. Are there any available now? It would be nice to replace the old wheel horse. I might try to update it
that is
too.
Something that someone mentioned.
There are electric lawn tractors. I was in a DIY store recently. I was in a big box store and I saw some for sale.
Interesting.
Plenty of Spark EVs on our local Craigslist for 7,500 to 8,000. Look to all be mostly retired fleet vehicles. And, you know, the Spark is a great vehicle. I'm an apartment dweller, so getting something with rapid charging is really the deal breaker. And that's what I mean. You have to be super careful about that because some cars do not have rapid charging as standard, which is really important. We are looking for a Twizy. We cannot find one in the States. There might be some coming to Canada. Really? They're going to be sold. Yeah, they may come to Canada. And if you want one, I bet we could probably find you one in the UK and then take it over. I bought a new Tesla. Now I can't afford to feed my children. What should I do? Well, it's funny you should say that because
eat the wheels.
Because my kids once, you know, said, oh, I really like this car. Can we get a Tesla? And I was like, fine. We'll get a Tesla. I said, so what of your stuff do you want to get rid of? And they said, what? I said, what do you want to get rid of? Because we're going to have to live in the Tesla. Yeah. No. I said, well, okay, you could choose between a house
or
and a Tesla. Those are your two choices. So let's get back to the lawn tractor because that's what this was, garden stuff. So someone asked 2 hours ago before we started. This has been 2.5 hours I've been at this. I don't know. I'm not going to do any more. I'm not going to do any more work today. This is me done for the day. Someone was asking about a Renault Fluence. I'll talk about that in a second because it's a really important car. So people were asking about lawn materials and garden care products. And we purchased an electric lawnmower earlier this year and an electric strimmer that used the same battery pack. The mower's doing great, lithium-ion battery. It had an unfortunate incident involving a log, which damaged one of the blades. But other than that, it's been just fine and has been working great. And we are doing really well with it. We haven't used it for we haven't used it for a week because of the weather here. It's got really wet suddenly. But it's been really good. It's been really good. And I can't remember the name of it. It was a 60-volt lawn product. We put it in one of our videos.
You know what's interesting? Recently, I saw a self-driving little mower.
Robot mowers.
Yes. Yeah. That is wild to me. I know it's
it wouldn't work on our house because
too much of a.
Have you seen? You've seen my lot, haven't you?
I've walked it like at least twice at this point.
Yes. And
too much of a
very steep.
Yeah.
It's like that at places.
It's more or less for like cookie cutter neighborhoods. And stuff
In
like
fact, you know, we had I had some Italian arum grow in my garden, which is an invasive species.
Mm-hmm.
And Italian arum it doesn't have bulbs. It has those little.
Oh my gosh, starts with an R. Starts with an R, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does, and I can't think of the name of it.
Oh my gosh.
They're like bulbs, but they're not bulbs. They're like little nodules that can break apart and become new plants. And I was digging up this Italian arum because it's an invasive species. Yes, it's rhizome.
Rhizome. Thank you. Yep. Yay.
Rhizomes. So
tubers.
Rhizomes, whatever. And we're digging it up, and it was so steep at the bottom of the garden that when I was trying to dig out these rhizomes out of the ground, my foot slipped and I actually fell down off the bottom of my garden into something else. So
yes, we are using that.
Rhizomes. Yeah.
No, wait.
Rhizome?
No. I think you have tubers.
Oh, I don't know.
Rhizomes are more like for ferns and stuff like that.
But they do have them, I think, because they're little tiny, they break apart, little tiny ones.
A rhizome is like a stem almost.
Yeah.
And then it's got.
Yeah.
Different. They're not separated though.
No, they can separate. And these ones, they grew up from it. There were multiple plants growing up.
They're different.
Anyway, the Ego was a mower. The mower was an Ego, and it's doing really great. Do either of you guys have an electric bicycle?
Nope.
I used to have one.
Yeah, you did.
And then I don't have one anymore. I live at 800 feet, and it's on the list of things that I was thinking about getting one. I just actually sent an email to the guys at one of the local bike places recently to see what they have to see. I don't think we're going to hit our 100,000 today.
We've been hovering. Well, I mean, I think we'll definitely get it within the week, especially if we push, guys.
I think it'll happen today.
Go for it.
I think it'll happen today. So we'll see.
Very optimistic.
Anyway, do as I do, get and learn to use a scythe. I can use a scythe. I know how to do this. I know how to use a scythe. Someone was asking about the Renault Fluence ZE. It was an electric sedan that was made by Renault. It had a removable battery pack.
Really?
Yes, and the battery pack kind of sat behind the rear wheel and went up and went into the luggage space. It drove terribly because the battery was high. Instead of being underneath the floor like it is in most electric vehicles, it was right behind the rear axle and pretty high up, and it felt heavy.
Yeah.
You could feel that heaviness in the back.
So I imagine it changed what the
It had a battery, it had a charging port on one side and on the other. So it had two charging ports that you could use.
So it was removable. Could you literally just like
No, it was designed to be used with the Better Place battery swap system in Israel, which is the reason I went to Israel, is to try it out. And it was quite an experience. And like hydrogen fueling stations, they quoted a 5-minute recharge time or
and what was it
swap
actually?
time. It was close to 10.
Okay. Well,
So
10 isn't.
But I mean, if you're on the market for a low-cost EV, hey, better a Renault Fluence than nothing, right? But they're not great driving cars. Not great driving cars. Better Place in Israel and Denmark, but I don't think they had any public swap stations in Denmark, did they? They just had ones for taxi cabs. So I mean, I don't know. But there we have it. I think we are coming to the end of it feels like we're coming to the end of this live stream.
Yeah.
We can keep going, but I feel like we're all talked out by now.
I mean, I've got to go.
You've got to go home. And we have reached 99,753 subscribers. And we are at 802 patrons and $3,019 a month. And thank you to everybody who makes that possible.
Everyone that
every dollar really makes a difference. If you can't afford to give us like $10 a month, give us $1 a month. If you literally, if every of the 135 people who are watching this donated $1 a month,
good night,
that would make so much more. So much more.
But to everyone here that is a Patreon or who just became a Patreon,
We really appreciate you.
We really appreciate you.
Because it's your income.
Wait.
That
There we
makes,
go.
It's your income that makes your salary possible.
Yeah. I mean, I only started working here. It's been a year now, which is really
a year
fun.
in October.
Yeah. No, I started working for you in September.
Yeah, but it's a year in October since
As
you
an
became an actual employee.
Yeah.
So Erin started working for us in September last year, and for a month you were a contractor. Yeah. Self-employed contractor.
Yep.
And you had to work on your laptop. Do you remember?
Yes, because it's kind of hilarious because it was that whole desk and it was just my little laptop just sitting there. I'm like, what else do you want?
And that's how we grew.
Yeah.
I suppose maybe we should finish by talking about where we're at and what we want to do for the future. Because this is something that people have asked us a lot. Really, they ask us a lot.
Yeah.
And the challenge is this. Everything, unfortunately, takes time and money and energy.
Yeah.
A kind of a combination of the three, right? And in order for us to continue putting content out every day, there's only so much I can do that isn't content creation.
Yeah.
There's also stuff that I have to do as the owner of the business that I could not do, that other people cannot do, that I have to do or my wife has to do.
Yeah.
And my wife, Kate, while she doesn't ever really make an appearance on the channel, I think she's probably left the chat now because she works downtown in Portland for a company, and I'm sure that she hasn't been able to watch the stream all this time. But my wife, Kate Walton Elliott, is not my wife. Kate is my wife. She's Kate Gordon Bloomfield, as opposed to Kate Walton Elliott, who is married to somebody else. Does that make sense? I'm going to repeat this. There are two Kates at Transport Evolved. Kate Walton Elliott is not my wife. Kate Gordon Bloomfield is my wife. Kate.
Too many Kates.
This is Erin.
Hi.
We are not.
No.
Stop it. Kate Walton Elliott is causing problems. Kate Gordon Bloomfield, if you are watching the stream, say hello. My wife, Kate.
And then I have a sister who's Kate. And then I have a roommate who's Kate.
Too many Kates.
There's too many Kates. There's so many Kates.
My wife, Kate Gordon Bloomfield, makes all of the tax payments. She does all of the behind the scenes stuff. Kate Walton Elliott helps with the videos sometimes and comes to events.
Yep.
So I hope that clears that up.
We like it.
Kate Walton Elliott doesn't get paid. I want to start paying her to do things because she does things for.
We want to give you monies, Kate.
And hiring the studio, renting the studio, renting all the equipment, paying everybody.
The freaking contracting
is expensive. So there's only so much we can do, and it's only possible thanks to you guys making a donation here. Am I hiring people for more positions? We will be, but we can only hire more people if we bring more money in.
And ideally, that'll be the 100K is a milestone that'll kind of help us get there.
Yeah, it really will. So we need to bring in, before we can hire someone else, we need to bring in probably another $2,000 a month, because that's kind of the minimum wage.
Yeah,
really, for working in this industry, and we need to do that. So if you want to help support us, please do consider making a donation through Patreon if you don't already. Thank you for considering it. If you already do, thank you for supporting us. And we've had some lovely people sign up for Patreon today. So thank you to everybody who's watching. We are pretty much done, I think, with this live stream. I'm sad that we didn't hit 100,000.
That's fine.
But we're a lot closer than we were.
Yeah. Unfortunately, we're not those crazy people that are going to stay up like 24 hours waiting for it.
No, I can't stay up until the wee small hours to do it. And we missed it. this time, but maybe we'll do that next time.
Maybe
and
one of these
somebody
days.
will get upset and someone will tell us off and someone will say, thank you to John, you just joined us. Thank you very much. Coming up this week, we're going to be doing a video on the i3. Thank you, we got one more subscriber. You'd think that's confusing. One of the places I volunteer with has 3 to 5 Sues and 2 Nicholases and 2 Jans and 4 Robs.
You want to know something? In my graduating class, so we had like this final class we had to do. There were 3 Aarons, all spelt the same. And then there were 2 guys. I'm trying to remember his name. There were 2 guys with the exact same name. The exact same name. It was very strange.
It's crazy. So
really weird.
You have a sister called Kate.
A roommate who is also Kate.
Right.
Yeah. I
am married to a Kate who is a Catherine, spelled Kathryn. That's Americate, spelled Catherine with a Y. Kate Walton Elliott is also a Catherine, spelled Katherine, but she goes by Kate. And she is married to a Catherine, who is a Catherine, not a Kate, spelled Kathryn.
There you go.
So there is
lots of Catherines.
5 Catherines connected to Transport Evolved in a loose kind of way. But there's only one Nikki and only one Erin, so we're unique and special. But our camera guys are Michael, Brandon 1,
and Brandon 2.
And Brandon 2.
I'm sorry, Brandon 2, that you're Brandon 2.
Why?
Because it sucks. He's got to be number 2. It's like, I don't know. Maybe it's Brandon 1 and Brandon A.
How about Brandon Y and Brandon X?
Oh, there you go. See, the thing is, we can't call one Brandon Y because they're both Brandon Y. And that's the funny thing. A lot of weird things like that.
So there we go. We want to basically I want to give all of them a job. I feel like I need to keep going now because the numbers are going back up. So 99,755.
Let's talk about a few more goals and things like that. You know.
What's our goals?
Well, I mean, obviously, you want to get the silver play button. That's
not a goal.
Well, that's it. That's
might be your goal. It's not my goal.
Okay.
But well, I get to keep it on the wall here. You don't get to take it home.
I know. I know. It's a short-term goal.
Yeah.
I'm talking short-term goal.
Yeah. So we'd love to get to 100,000 subscribers because that will help us to get.
And of course, making the studio space a lot more finished up.
Yeah.
Making more filming spaces. So
so this is a 2,000 square foot facility. 2,000? No, sorry, 1,000.
Was it?
It's 1,000.
Okay.
Because it's half of what my house is. My house is 2,000 square feet.
All right.
And this is 1. Not this room, obviously. This room is what, 200 and some?
Something like that.
So we have 800 plus feet out there that we're going to build into. We can do a little sketch.
I think we have about 4 different. So we're going to do a garage set.
I'm going to draw it. You're going to laugh at my drawing.
Oh, sad. Garage set, green screen, a sit down kind of dusky one, and then of course we're gonna have a little kitchenette, which isn't for filming, but now you know. And then where our server is going to go, which will be kind of the space that you're going to be doing your Sunday musings, right?
Yeah. So we are currently here in this little room right here, which is called the edit room. And here we have this great big, I'll show you. Right here we have this great big
garage door.
Yeah. And we want to build a wall right here to be our garage set.
And that was kind of one of the things that we were really looking for when we were getting this space was that garage door so we can get cars in when it's rainy because
right now it's really dark out there.
Well, we live in the Pacific Northwest, and it's not always going to be nice and sunshiny, so we can't always film.
And thanks to our buddies at Smart Charge America, we're going to get our little charging station and put it right there.
Yay!
All right, so we're going to get a charging station and put it right there. And then this is going to be our garage set. And in our garage set, we're going to have all of the garages. And we're going to put all the car stuff in there. And then out here, you know, this is where our bathroom currently is. We're going to make a little kitchenette here. Because, you know, we need to have food and stuff.
I like being able to eat.
And this right here needs to be our server space. So we have our server space right here. And then here are our various filming sets. So filming. So we're going to have basically multiple sets here. So we're going to have a set there. That'll be set number 1. We'll have a set there, 2. We'll have a set there, 3. And we'll have a set there, 4. And they'll all be in the same space. But depending on where the cameras go, will show us where we're at. Apparently, I've gone all American suddenly. I'm sorry.
You American.
I'm American. I am actually American. It's kind of crazy.
You are now.
I am American. I had to go through a horrible amount of paperwork to get American. As a friend of mine is becoming American right now, and they're going through a whole lot of paperwork, and I'm not going to say who it is unless they tell everybody who it is, but yeah. I love how your accent changes depending on whom you're talking to. Yeah, unfortunately, that is the case. So tomorrow we'll be back to normal. We'll be doing normal videos. 756. We're getting there.
Maybe we'll get there tomorrow.
I
Who
really
knows?
hope so.
With your help.
Yep. 244 people to go. No idea who you're talking about. So I think then that means I can say who that person is, right, Kate? So I would subscribe 244 times if I could. Yeah, I know. We've got 244 subscribers left. So go shout at people. We need to get to 244 more subscribers. It will happen this week. 100,000 subscribers will happen this week. It's taken a bit longer than I'd hoped. But our goal apparently is to get you in an EV.
Cool. I mean, I was definitely, like I said, looking for a plug-in if, you know.
But the good thing is, right, so what's your commute? 50 miles?
About, yeah.
So for Erin to get to and from this studio, it's about a 50-mile commute. And if she got a plug-in hybrid, 90% of your commute could be
absolutely
electric.
Yeah. That would be honestly like massive, because right now a lot of what I'm spending money on is definitely gasoline, because it's expensive.
Would love to see a video of Erin's EV buying journey.
Yeah, well, I mean, the video I can make it a series. That'd be interesting.
Yeah.
Because I am, like I said, I'm going to be doing a video kind of talking about some cars I am looking at and the reasons why I'm looking at those and blah, 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 stuff like that.
And that's one of the reasons why we moved into this video space, is because we wanted to be able to have somebody edit videos while somebody else is filming, while somebody else is doing. And I don't want to be, I know I love being in front of a camera. I hate it, actually. I mean, I don't know. I like presenting. I don't like the associated bits that come with
You say
being
in front
recognizable.
Of 104 people.
Yeah, I don't like being recognizable. E-up for Erin. That would be fun. You get you a little E-up, but they don't sell them over here, unfortunately. So I want other people to take other video duties on. I want other people to film. So that's where we're at. So anyway, thanks to everybody for watching. Thanks for joining in the fun. I'm going to end this now. If you want to support us, please do. If you want to celebrate the fact that we are at 244 subscribers away from 100,000, please do support us and share it and everything else, because it will make our lives a lot easier at the end of the day. We've got some fun videos coming up too. We're going to install a tow hitch in my Bolt, on my Bolt. Someone was asking earlier about towing and I ignored them, and I'm sorry. I do tow with a Bolt. I'm going to be towing with a Bolt even. So that's going to be something I'm going to be doing.
All that legit stuff. The good stuff.
Woot, 246 to go. LK Child, that's 243 to go.
Anyway, again,
She's
Be sure
going.
to, huh?
I'm going.
Yeah. Be sure to tell your friends, your family, your neighbors, all that stuff. No, it's not. I work here. I'm an employee.
She is an employee. My wife is.
Oh no.
You have to show a photo of her now, aren't I? To sit prove that she is.
I am an employee.
Find a nice photo. Oh, my phone has crashed.
That's not good.
Let's see if I can find a photo.
Thank you. What?
Sorry, I'm just scrolling through my photos and
Yeah,
going, no, can't do
that
that one.
you are.
Can't do that one.
Mm-hmm. Anyway.
That's not.
We appreciate you guys spreading the word. Keep spreading the word.
The word is the bird. The bird
word.
is the word. What?
Nothing.
I'm trying to find a photo of Kate. I can find lots of photos of other people. My wife and I need more photos together, obviously.
Why don't you just post it on Twitter afterwards? We need to. Yeah, exactly.
We need.
People are tired.
We gotta go.
Yeah.
All right.
You just post it on Twitter later.
Here we go.
Or there.
That is my wife. The one on the left. And you can see that she does not look like anything like that person. Or the other person called Kate. So there we go.
Reason why I'm more blah is this is actually my personality. Yes. I'm actually very loud. So yay. Me a loud person. Anyway.
Take care, everyone.
Yay.
See you soon.
Goodbye.
Wow. Isn't it weird how, like,